So Alexandra can go. She actually did go knight d7.
Nice.
So
Let's go.
he had his opportunity to go e5 and he didn't take it. But on the other hand, when Alexandra now is playing knight to d7, even though she is preventing the pawn to e5 plan, she's also putting her own knight in the way of her bishop. And the knight on d7 is also blocking her queen's protection of the d5 pawn. So there are some very clear disadvantages to this as well. That being said, if Giuseppe, or however it's pronounced, I think that's a great Italian name. Did you know that it's I heard it's Bobby's middle name?
Really?
I think so.
Wow.
It's supposed to be like John or
John.
something.
Got it.
The
John.
Italian version of John. Oh no, Fabiano's middle name is Luigi. Okay, it was something very, very Italian sounding.
Luigi. It's like from Mario. Luigi.
It's like Joseph. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this tournament sisters are playing in this. I mean, I know Andrea is playing in a section B. Is Alessandra also playing in a section B?
Yeah, so they're both playing in the same section. We could have a Botez versus Botez matchup. Honestly, I'm so surprised they didn't have to face each other in the previous tournament.
Oh, really?
I wonder if they bribed some officials or something.
No, I think they would love to do that. I think it would be amazing for content.
No, Alexandra specifically said that she'd rather not. I think part of the reason is because she feels like she has a lot to lose. Because everyone's expecting her to beat Andrea.
Yeah.
And Andrea has expressed some desire to have a Botez versus Botez matchup because she feels like she has everything to win from that.
What do you think, chat? We would all want to see that, absolutely.
Mercarian is asking, what is the Italian and Russian version of Jon Ludwig? I'm not sure about the Italian or Russian, but Jon Ludwig is actually one of the most common names in the world.
It's like Ivan, I think, Vanya.
Well, maybe not that common, but it's not super uncommon. In Norway, there's less than 3 people who's called Jon Ludwig. But in French, Jean-Louis is one of the most common names.
Right.
Which is pretty much the exact same as Jon Ludwig.
Jean-Louis. Yeah. Have you watched David Hobel and Magnus Carlsen lie detector?
I did watch that video, yeah.
What did you think about it?
I kind of wanted to do a lie detector myself. Is that a bit weird to say?
No.
But I kind of was like, okay, this is really awkward. Having to answer some of the questions were quite personal, but it made me wonder, how would I do if I got all of these awkward questions? Alexandra's opponent has played knight f1, and I really like Alexandra's follow-up.
She did
so
d4?
Much so that I'm almost taking back everything I disliked about this knight to d7 move. Because now Alexandra goes d4.
Yay.
And the problem with her retreating the knight to d7 was that the lack of defense towards the d5 square from the queen. And now Alexandra both manages to get an advantage with the pushing her pawns forward in the center of the board. But she also has her knights reasonably well placed to deal with. Well, basically, the knights have gotten out of the way so that she can push her kingside pawns.
Right. Looks cool. Yeah, this is one of those moments we talked about it. If you remember, chat on the previous streams, to understand what side to play, you gotta look at the direction of the pawns. And here, Alexandra's pawn direct towards the king side, so you're gonna push all the pawns there. Such as for Andrea, for example. I mean, Andrea doesn't have a real indicator on the pawn structure because it's not fixed. But yeah, d4 is our guide towards where and how we should go. The top of the hill. Yeah.
In the meantime, Andrea has made some moves as well.
Right.
She's gone knight to h3.
Ooh, interesting. Andrea loves putting the knight on h3, which I'm not a big fan.
I'm very surprised why she wouldn't push her pawn first. Because now the knight is blocking the white h pawn's ability to get into the game.
Yeah.
And then after pawn to e6, she's gone g5.
Oh. Right.
Which I really dislike. Because
it's
right now
natural.
she's opening up for the black rook. The rooks hate pawns that block their ability to get into the game early. In fact, rooks are the pieces that are the last to really get activated in a game of chess, because you really struggle getting the rooks past the pawn barrier early on, since they're hidden away in the corner of the board.
Right.
But now Andrea is allowing her opponent to just capture the white pawn, after which the black rook will have an easy time pointing down the board.
Yeah, it doesn't feel natural. I wonder how I would explain that.
Well, let me give it a shot then. I don't like the fact that she ends up having her pawn on the H file isolated from the rest of her pawns.
Right.
So the H2 pawn, after this pawn advancement, that pawn is standing on its own. It cannot be protected by other pawns because we traded away its adjacent buddy. And that makes that pawn a long-term pawn weakness, which is why I'm pretty happy that Andrea's opponent now played h5, because I feel like he should have opened up for his rook when given a chance.
Yeah. Also, in general, when you attack, it's kind of like a certain pattern, right? You almost do these moves h4, g4 automatically. You don't even think about them.
Yeah. But
like
now, ironically, Andrea might have actually saved some time.
Because he just played? Or hasn't he?
So, yeah, he played h5, and that means now Andrea might not even need
to
go h4 in the future, so maybe she's saved a move compared to some other possibilities.
Now I see what you're talking about. Yeah, I wonder where she's gonna put this knight, because again, you kind of want to, like, probably you don't want to push f4 because the bishop on b7, you want to keep this barrier against the bishop. So you might want to do knight, like, but knight f4 also, you're like, where is this knight going?
Yeah. it's not very clear. I would maybe make an argument for putting the knight on f2, because that frees you to push your f pawn up to be more attacking.
Okay.
Okay, Dina.
Yeah.
We're not on. Turns out the games are not on a delay the way I thought they were.
All right.
So let me find you the links to the games,
Yeah.
and so that we can actually get them updated automatically.
All right. And you know, chat, what it is time for. In the meantime, you know what it is time for, chat. Yeah, maybe if you can get the access to those, you can also tell me the moves, or because this one, yeah, this is still London. This is still London here. Up. There we go. First links. Copy. Let's see. This was
That's Andrea's game.
that's Andrea. Let's see. Oh, so it's basically some other person playing, I guess.
They just got the names wrong.
Yeah, they have it often. Oh, interesting. Nice. We got Andrea Botez here with okay, you don't want to know what's the rating of this. Another opponent. Okay, we got it updated. Yes. So basically when this stuff happens, you can kind of go through all the games and try to see what game you need just by kind of detecting what's the position. This is what Hammer did. He went to the tournament section and he scrolled through all of the games and then detected with his grandmaster eye what was the right one. But up, and here we have Alexandra. I'm gonna flip the board. Okay, it says rook e1 is the last move, but we know already that Alexandra played knight d7, I think you said, and then at some point she played d4.
Yeah. So knight f1, d4, c4, a6 are the missing moves on Alexandra's board.
Okay, tell me again. Knight f1. Yeah, you said knight f1 he played. Knight f1, d4. And what did he do?
d4.
c4.
Yeah.
That's an interesting way of reacting here. Black is already better.
He's trying to shut things down, but Alexandra has the furthest advanced pawn on this board. So she's quite happy to just shut this down. And well, the thing is, in order to win the game, you are going to have to open it up at some point. But because Alexandra has the furthest advanced pawn, that restricts the mobility of White's pieces. White cannot as easily maneuver their pieces as Alexandra can maneuver hers, because Alexandra has more kind of safe space in behind her pawns. But Alexandra is trying to open up a little bit. So she's going a6 to try and advance her pawns on the queen side with b5 afterwards.
Okay, that's very legit.
And then I can imagine her opponent is going to play something like pawn to a4, trying to stop her from opening up on the queen side and just really trying to shut down the entire position. But the problem with a4 is that then Alexandra can basically just leave the queen side and say, okay, I'm not going to be able to open up here anytime soon, but I will do it at some point.
Uh-huh.
But then Alexandra can go say, okay, I'm going to take a pause on the queen side and I'm going to focus on the king side instead. And then she can advance, well, her central pawn to e5, and she can also advance pawn to f5 in due course.
Nice. Yeah, I would consider, like, probably now it's not important, but at some point we kind of want to play b6. Maybe when they play, let's say, something like if they play bishop d2, we might want to consider b6, because if not, white could play a5 and kind of stop us from pushing b5 when we want. So b6 would give us more flexibility. It's also kind of this, basic how you say it, strategy with a pawn play. Like, you don't want to get yourself fixed a backwards pawn in the future, or isolated pawn. Like, let's say I do a random f6, or, I mean, you probably want me to do f5, right?
Well, I want you to go b6, but that ruins the instructional value of the point you're trying to make.
Yeah, like, let's say queen c7 and then a5. And now if we ever push, they're gonna take en passant. And the position might be still good for black, but the thing is, this is not the kind of position necessarily that we would want, because the white's rook would be kind of attacking our pawn. Where instead, in some dream world, yeah, if we play b6 instead, and then when they play a5, we play b5, they don't have en passant anymore, and we continue putting the pressure on the b and c files.
Yeah, and this is kind of the identical situation we saw in Andrea's game, right? That Alexandra's opponent would try and set up a situation where Alexandra couldn't advance on the queen side without leaving her rook pawn, the a pawn, all alone on the side of the board, similar to what we were concerned about in Andrea's game, where Andrea allowed her opponent to give her one of those isolated pawns as well.
Yes.
Let's put in the moves that we already know on Andrea's board.
So it was knight h3 that we were not fans of. Then I believe he played something like e6, g5, h5. Is that correct? Great. And now Andrea put the knight somewhere. She put it on f4. Yeah, this is what I'm not a fan of. I mean, I understand now that she doesn't have any choice, but whenever she starts doing this, it always feels like unnatural. Like, whenever I watch Andrea's games, I always have a feeling that there is certain, like, just kind of like basic, like, strategy gap out there, and it's just like sometimes these things, they, like, I don't know, a hammer. Do you have a feeling that this is not, like, kind of like, this is not
I think you're being very strict. I do think it's a centralizing move. Is it where I would put my knight? Probably not. I did mention that if the knight went backwards instead, it would free up the pawn to be aggressive and try to push up the board, the f pawn.
Yeah.
Right now, the f pawn is doing a really good job of defending the pawn on e4. So if I'm gonna choose to push that pawn forward and give it an attacking mission instead, then I would want someone else to take over the defensive task of guarding the e4 pawn. So I was thinking knight to f2 and then push the f pawn afterwards.
Yeah, makes sense. So Andrea played knight to f4, and now the question is, and her opponent replied already. In fact, I think, what did he do? I cannot see. You should have a better
I
eye.
I assume her opponent. Oh, her opponent actually went queen to e7.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait. No, sorry, I messed up. Andrea didn't go knight to f4. She went rook to g1.
Oh.
And this rook to g1 is actually quite unnecessary. She's guarding the pawn on g5, but that pawn didn't actually need defending. She's guarding the pawn so that she can go knight f4 afterwards. But even if she had gone knight f4 immediately instead of rook to g1, say knight to f4 then, the threat against the pawn on g5 is nothing to be concerned about because of knight takes on e6. And yeah, the knight is attacking the queen, but more importantly, the bishop is also attacking the queen. So the queen needs to move, but then the knight is attacking the pawn on c7, the bishop on g7, and black's position just collapses.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like rook g1 was unnecessary. And then after queen to e7, which is a bit of a surprising move. I was expecting her opponent to keep developing the pieces and go knight to e7. But instead he's chosen to go with the queen.
He chose to go with the queen, and then Andrea played knight f4. I think he's preparing long castle hammer.
Yeah, and that's what he did.
Oh. And then Andrea played h4, right?
Yeah, then she played h4.
Instead, she had
So, like,
already some options to blow up, apparently.
how do you mean?
Such as d5, I assume. But I don't know if it's too early or
I
not.
think the opportunity to go d5 will always be there.
Correct.
I think h4 is fine. I think one of the good things about Andrea's position is it's not just her position, and like she's making, I think, small inaccuracies in her moves, but they're small. And the important thing is that she's playing at a pace that we haven't seen Andrea play pretty much ever before.
Right, which is good, which is even
It's
great.
very good.
It's amazing.
I would say arguably more important than playing the very best moves. If she can play the second best moves but actually keep some pace in her game, I think that's gonna improve her results.
Right. And Hammer, I think it's time for us to announce our sponsor, if I may take a small pause from our analysis now that the girls are in a very good situation, frankly speaking. So, ladies and gentlemen, here presented to you, Coinbase is the sponsor of this amazing trip that we are doing, this tournament, the International World Chess Festival in Sardinia. As you know already, Coinbase has been supporting Botezlive many times before. It is the most trusted and most secure cryptocurrency exchange on the market, used by over 140 million people globally. As supporters of the chess community, Coinbase is giving away over, careful chat, $20,000 in cryptocurrency throughout the whole tournament here in Sardinia. And viewers who enter using an email affiliated with their Coinbase account can participate in this giveaway. There will be one grand prize winner each day who receives $1,000 in cryptocurrency. And we will give away, of course, 500 each to 3 people if either of the sisters wins today. So we have an extra incentive chat for the sisters to win. And of course, even for those who are not selected, if you sign up using the link in chat or using promo code Botez20, you will receive $20 in Bitcoin after your first transaction. So chat, be sure to sign up for your chance to win through the links in chat using commands Coinbase and Raffle. And on that note, we are getting back to the games because, believe it or not, but the sisters are in the most exciting situation I personally have seen them in a very long time. I don't know about you, Hammer.
Yeah, no, I think the chances today they're gonna be pretty good, and I think both girls have gotten off to a good start here, and I'm excited to see what's next. I'm surprised by Alexandra's moves now, though. So if you go back to where we were in Alexandra's game last,
Of course.
she kind of changed her mind about her plan. So when Alexandra played pawn to a6, it was quite clear she was intending to go pawn to b5 next,
Uh-huh.
trying to make an expansion on the queen side
Yeah.
of the board. But her opponent responded with pawn to a3.
A3.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then for some reason I don't really understand, Alexandra didn't go pawn to b5, which seemed to be her original plan. Instead, she went pawn to e5.
Ooh.
So I guess the reason she didn't want to go pawn to b5 is because then she was afraid white would once again be able to go pawn to e5 themselves. The
That
idea
is
being that
interesting.
even though Alexandra has 3 captures on that central pawn and black only has 2 defenders, the thing is that after the trades, white's bishop will be able to capture the rook in the corner. So Alexandra changed her mind completely, in that she first went e5 to prevent this whole idea, and then I was expecting her to go b5 afterwards. But after bishop to d2, Alexandra decided it's more important for her to try and stop white from expanding with b4 than allow herself to expand with b5. So basically both players trying to push their pawns forward on the queen side. And well, who knows what's going to happen with that whole tension between the pawns on the queen side. And Alexandra decided, I want to play pawn to a5 instead.
No
So
way.
she's kind of wasted a move in dealing with this advance on the queen side. But it might be okay even so, because as long as the queen side shuts down and there's nothing precarious happening there anytime soon, Alexandra will be able to focus to create an attack on the opposite flank. And in fact, after her opponent went rook to b1, trying once again to do this pawn to b4 move, Alexandra got to play a4, which is a perfect illustration of what you said, Dina, where you're preventing your opponent from pushing their pawns forward on the queen side, because anytime you do that, you end up with an en passant capture. So if you can get the moves.
Yeah, what was the
rook b1,
white move? Rook
rook
b1 and now a4. Exactly same situation as you said that we were talking about, but reversed. Interesting. Yeah, as we were saying, b3, I assume, would be making more sense first. And then a4. I remember you were commentating the Prague Chess Festival, and in fact, you were busy with the girls, but my last round, I kind of let my opponent get away with the same thing. I was playing white against King's Indian, and I knew that this a4 is a positional important idea, and I should not let it happen. And I thought I was preventing it, but he managed to have it like tactically. You know, those situations when you have a knight and the bishop, and you cannot take because you also protect the e4 pawn.
Yeah.
Here, that's way easier. Yeah, I just put the pawn on b3 and prevent. But no, he played rook b1 and now a4. And we kind of are happy again, even though we wasted the tempo, as Hammer said. But it seems like black has this kind of like safety cushion, right? That like they can allow certain like changing of directions and they're still better.
Yeah, and one of the plans Alexandra may still go for long term is still she can go pawn to b5 at some point in the future. So she hasn't, and this is quite important, she hasn't given away, she hasn't shut down the queen side completely. She's managed to discourage white from opening up on the queen side while all the same keeping her own option of pushing pawn to b5 and trying to open up the b file later on. So shows she's staying very flexible in her play. Her opponent went bishop to c1. The moves are coming in. They're both playing quite quickly.
What? Bishop to c1?
Yeah, so bishop to c1. I can only guess that Giuseppe realized that he's gonna have to play pawn to b3 at some point.
Oh yeah.
And then he wants to have the bishop protecting the pawn on a3. Because we talked about this earlier, how if you open up the a file for black's rook, the black rook will be able to point down the a file.
Yeah.
And put pressure towards the opponent's pawn.
And in that case, if we were to make like few moves, like for example b4, because you all love en passant, pawn takes and let's say rook takes. Yeah, here it's like obviously we got this isolated a3 pawn and black's rook is great, and the rook on b3, it's not like, it's still a good rook, right? Hammer, it attacks this so to be backwards pawn on b7, but you do not really want to have your bishop stick to this a3 pawn, so it's still like definitely there are more weaknesses for white here, and all these pieces, they are completely misplaced. The knight on f1, the bishop on g2, the knight on f3, so it just seems like in any way here like white would not have like any harmony among their pieces.
Yeah, and that's kind of illustrated by the fact that he's going a bit back and forth and kind of changing his minds as the game progresses and Alexandra's plans are displayed. That being said, Alexandra now played knight b6, which I think is quite a clear mistake. Knight to b6 is depending very much on white wanting to go pawn to b3. So knight b6 is good if white plays pawn to b3 or pawn to b4. Either way, we're going to capture it. And then the knight can move on further to the a4 square. So this would be very, very nice for Alexandra.
Yeah.
However,
However,
if now her opponent chooses not to play this b3 move, then I fear that her knight is just going to be quite misplaced on the b6 square.
Right. So it's kind of like Alexandra is doing the prophylactics, right? But you always want to ask yourself, like, what if your opponent doesn't do what you're trying to prevent from happening? Then what is your knight doing on b6? And the answer is like it's pretty awkward, right? Like it doesn't really have any square to go rather than go back to d7. So yeah, you can say that in exchange of the knight on b6, we got this awkward rook on b1 that doesn't do anything. The bishop on c1 that kind of also doesn't do anything. So let's say black sacrificed one piece for this idea and white sacrificed two pieces. So black is still good. But the thing is, like, in the position from where we started, you had so many other options. But okay, once again, you're gonna love hammer, but knight b6 is in some ways like the first line of the engine on chess.com. You know what you're gonna say.
Oh,
It's not,
really?
well, not
No,
anymore, but
actually,
yeah. It's not.
knight b6 is kind of growing on me, actually.
Oh, really?
Because I don't like the b6 placement, but I've made a realization that I can try to get this knight to the d6 square. And that I would be a huge fan of.
Like knight c8 and knight d6?
Yeah. And yeah, no, so knight b6 is very growing on me. It's not the knight's final destination, but it's kind of doing a useful task on its way to its destination, because now we're discouraging white from opening up the queen side while getting our maneuver later on. Alexandra's opponent, he played h3 here.
h3.
And Alexandra went queen c7.
Okay.
Which I think is fine. I was skeptical initially, but this queen is going to be a nice protector of the c5 pawn and the b7 pawn. So I think the black queen is going to be good there.
Oh, yeah.
Her opponent now played knight 1 to d2.
Okay.
And now I would like to see something like bishop e6 from Alexandra. The only thing I'm not, no, actually no, bishop e6. Like, her position is great.
Yeah. Of course it is.
Because now if he tries to go b4, which is probably his intention with running the knight over from the king side to the queen side, then Alexandra will be able to take en passant. And now the pawn on c5 is under attack, but the knight coming up to a4 will protect the pawn on c5 as well.
Yeah, and always want to jump into c3, which is like an outpost.
I'm actually not sure we want to do that, but
you
it's
don't
a
like that.
nice little bonus.
Yeah, you probably don't like that because there is always a bishop that can protect it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing it if I win material, but otherwise, I guess I just want to create pressure on both flanks.
Nice. Yeah.
But Alexandra has played bishop to h6 instead. And
Bishop
I'm not sure I like that move.
Bishop to h6. Ooh.
So the thing about this bishop on g7 is that even though this bishop right now is pointing in towards the black pawns, it is a very useful defender of the black king.
Yes, and plus, whenever we get a chance to play f5, and in the future we would for sure somewhere push e4 and even like d3, the bishop can always get activated. So it's that kind of a story of a King's Indian bishop. You rarely want to exchange it as black. You actually want to keep it as your, that joker card that you're gonna use when the right time comes.
I don't think it's a big mistake, but it's definitely a bit of an unusual approach to the King's Indian. But you can understand how she's thinking in terms of that bishop pointing towards her pawns. But those pawns were kind of useful anyway. They're playing so quickly. Her opponent now played b3.
Okay, there we go. Time for knight on b6 to get some job done.
Yeah. And now Alexandra's going to capture. Knight is going to recapture.
And knight to a4 we expect.
Well, let's watch out for the bishop on h6.
Oh, sorry. I meant the plan. Yeah, takes, queen takes, and then knight to...
So we're gonna have to make the trade and then knight to a4. But actually, it's been advantageous for Alexandra here to trade off the dark squared bishops, because now the black knight can actually get into the c3 square without being afraid of being captured by the white bishop.
Finally.
So now I agree with you, Dina, that knight to c3 is a massive part of Alexandra's plan, and she has a very commanding position.
Finally, something that I've been dreaming about is going to take place. I cannot express my happiness. I kind of have this PTSD from Andrea's loss when the queen entered to h6, but the difference is that I guess we have the queen on c7, so the threat is knight g5, but even now, or even when it happens, like, we can always play f6 and protect the h7, so in this case it should be all fine.
Yeah, I agree. The queen is a good protector along the 7th rank. So I'm feeling optimistic about Alexandra. The moves are coming in very quickly because both Alexandra and her opponent are actually playing super quick. So let's put the current position on the board and then check what has happened in Andrea's game.
Yeah, I believe it was... Yeah, okay, I'll leave it on knight b6, even though we kind of have b3, but while we're...
Well, I mean, after knight b6, there's h3.
Oh,
Queen
yeah,
c7.
it's... yeah, no, never mind. I was just looking up the board, but okay, I'll leave it here after b3, right? No, she took. She took on b3. Okay, Andrea. It's been a while we haven't talked about Andrea's game. Have things changed here?
Let me see. So after castles h4, so not a lot of moves have happened in that game. Andrea is spending a bit of time. Her opponent went queen to e8.
Queen to e8. Wow. Wouldn't be my first guess.
Well, the thing is, he only has...
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're right. It's like he doesn't have a choice and he needs to put the knight on e7.
It's the only way to develop the knight. Yeah. So I guess that's why we were surprised with this queen coming to the e7 square to begin with.
Right. It almost feels like naturally you would want maybe... Like, it's tricky because you don't know if you want to push... Like, normally you want to push the pawn on c5, right? Because you have this g7 bishop, and like this, you create the square for the queen on c7, and then the knight comes naturally to e7, and you can always castle long. So this would probably be the most, so to be logical way of developing pieces for black. Hammer.
Agreed. Yeah.
And instead, knight f4, we got... Oh. And this is the position that we have now. Queen e8, were there any moves from Andrea?
Yeah, so Andrea went knight d3.
Okay. Knight
and
to
after
e7.
Knight to e7, Andrea has gone knight to b4.
Interesting. It is a good move.
Oh,
yeah.
Really? Is it?
Yeah, surprisingly, it's a first line. But I do acknowledge that the knight has moved a little bit too much. Knight h3, knight f4, knight d3, knight b4. But hey, Andrea finished her development. Bishop on f1, we talked about it, chat, if you remember, is already a half-developed piece from the start, especially when it doesn't it doesn't stop the rooks from developing. So let's say now that Andrea finished development castle and has the center, she's allowed to do whatever the F she wants. So the knight jumping all around does look weird, but it actually is fine here.
Well, the thing is, I'm concerned about this knight being attacked and black just pushing their pawns forward while attacking Andrea's pieces. So her opponent has gone knight to b8 now, defending the pawn on a6, which was under attack, which was Andrea's idea
Yeah.
to begin with. And now I'm very concerned that Andrea's going to get hit by pawn to c5 next.
And the queen is on d1, kind of might be not comfortable with the next ray from the rook on d8.
I mean, in fact, if you just make a silly move, say king to b1, I think king b1, pawn to c5. Does black not win a piece there?
Ooh, the only possible reaction is to take, and after you take back.
Already taking is a bit of a bad thing happening for Andrea because it opens up for her opponent's bishop. But my thought was that, yeah, the variation you're showing right now, Dina, that if Andrea tries to block the attack on her queen with a knight that was also under attack, then Andrea's going to lose her knight.
For some reason, obviously, Andrea would never do it because it's scary as hell. And for some reason, Engine says it's fine, but obviously we're here not to talk about what Engine says. No human would ever do that. So I agree, c5 looks scary as heck. And how to stop it? There is a way, Hammer, pushing the d pawn. Let's say d5.
Yeah.
And if a5, I assume. Oh my goodness! Oh my
bishop
lord!
b5.
Nope. In this position, there is only one move, and it's not bishop b5.
Is it knight b5?
It is knight b5. Careful, this is not a mate because the king can escape, but it would cost them a piece at the very least. c6 has to be played. Oh, actually, it would cost them. Oh, never mind. It would cost them.
b6 is.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I can see Andrea checkmating here. Yeah, it's king c7. Oh god, no, that would never happen. Okay, honestly, Andrea can easily find this. But she has to be precise. She has to play d5. This is a critical moment for white. d5 has been in the air for so many times, like almost 10 moves already. And Andrea never played it, even though, you know, like, okay, everybody tells you, take the center. But once you took the center and your opponent doesn't take the center, and I, by the way, learned it very late, what do you do next? So the answer is, if you can continue pushing forward your pawns, you should do it. It will give you space and many squares. So in this moderns, in this perk defenses, these d5s and d5s are typical moves, and d5 has been in the air all the time. But now bright side for us is that Andrea kind of is forced to do it. Otherwise, she might lose her piece after c5.
Yeah. I wish I was as optimistic and positive as you, Dina. I guess you've never heard that before.
No. But I knew coming here into this studio commentating with you, Hammer, I knew that I was gonna turn into the most positive, commentator the world has ever seen.
I first thing on the agenda is for Andrea to realize that her position is on the verge of being highly problematic. But as long as she makes that realization, I do agree with you that d5 is very findable in that regard. As long as she realizes that her opponent's threat of pawn to c5 is a massive issue, then yes, I do agree. d5 is likely to happen.
Yeah. To some extent, Andrea from what I noticed, she always moves forward. So it would be also a move in within her style, if I can say so. Like,
very good point. Yeah.
and she must see the threat c5, so that's why I'm also having high hopes here. But she might calculate a5, and then it's like, but what happens next? If I go back, then they just grab the d5 pawn, and I'm really, really unhappy here. But once again, knowing Andrea, first thing that she calculates, her candidate moves are never to defend or retreat the attacked piece. Her first candidates are always to counterattack. So all she needs to spot is this naughty little check, almost like a smothered mate. If she sees that, I tell you, Hammer, we gonna see a win. And you know what that means. A win.
Big prizes for everyone.
Exactly. A win means $1,500 extra in giveaway for today. Remember, guys, if one of the sisters scores, we get an extra giveaway from what we have already presented by Coinbase, our very loyal sponsor for chess tourneys and travel shows. All right,
Dina, I have a comment.
Yeah.
Though.
Please.
Because my first instinct after this d5 a5 was to go bishop b5, but I'm realizing bishop b5 would be a horrendous blunder.
Yeah, you would give away a queen for 3 pieces, right?
I mean, that would be one thing I'm concerned about. That was initially gonna be my comment, but then I realized there's something even better.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because after bishop to b5, black has bishop takes c3.
Oh, for some reason this doesn't work. Oh, actually it does. You're right. It's just not as winning as the other one. But yeah, it's pretty enough. So, well, this is very straightforward. After queen d3, you would just simply retreat the queen, play like whatever, knight d7.
Yeah, of course, I hadn't seen queen d3.
Yeah, well, queen d3 is like, again, it's just black is piece up. Yeah, but actually this is an important moment for our viewers because I am sure not everyone knows that 3 pieces are way stronger than the queen. Even mathematically and statistically, it is proven to be the same. 3 pieces means 9 pawns, and the queen is 9 pawns, so it's the same thing. But in practice, 3 pieces are always stronger than the queen because the coordination between 3 is just so much better than 1, especially like in a close position like this one. Oh, actually, why am I like... Yeah, I know you, Hammer, are not a fan of engine, and I actually respect that and agree with that. But
I mean, I'm a big fan of the engine.
Oh yeah,
I don't know why you wouldn't have that impression. I literally got in a fight on Twitter the other week.
Oh really?
About me believing that chess commentators should use the engine to help them.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, I had that impression because when we had our preparation call, you mentioned that I was trusting a bit too much to the engine. So I'm like, trying to bring the human side here, and I see that this position apparently is okay for white, even slightly better. So it's kind of everything I said doesn't make sense. I mean, you're gonna have to explain this to me.
Your point stands, right?
Yeah.
That 3 pieces are about worth the same as the queen, but then in this specific scenario, the black pieces are a bit hindered by the white pawns, which means that the queen was okay in that case. anyway.
Yeah,
Oh,
and here, like the line that you suggested, which is take the free piece, is
well, I
actually
mean,
better.
after bishop takes knight, I was thinking we were gonna examine the recapture, because once someone captures our guy, the most obvious thing to do is to recapture.
Oh,
You're on the wrong board.
no, no, Hammer. I'm on the in the. It's that one of those moments when the organizer of the tournaments realize what happened,
Oh,
and they recreate everything. So that means we can finally go to Andrea. Up, here we go, and her board got updated.
nice.
Yeah. And sure did Alex. No, Alex, not yet. Okay.
Alexandra's board hasn't been fixed yet.
Yeah. So I'm gonna bring this extra moves right here. Yeah, this is what we have right now. Great.
But I do think d5 is very important, and Andrea did not play d5, Dina.
Oh no.
So that's potentially very, very dangerous for her.
Oh no.
She did not react to her opponent's big threat. But oh well, maybe she did react actually. Now that I think about it,
Did she move the A
uh,
pawn?
she went knight to h3.
What?
And because the bishop is now pointing in towards the black king
Oh, you mean the
on
bishop?
c8.
Oh, bishop to
So
H.
because the bishop is pointing towards the king, now if her opponent goes pawn to c5, previously we were concerned about where Andrea was going to put her knight if the pawn came to attack it. But now knight to d5 is available because that knight cannot be captured by the black pawn due to the bishop's diagonal towards the black
Wow.
king.
That's actually really smart. I like that.
Her opponent quickly goes pawn to a5, but frankly, if he wanted to play that move, I feel like he could have done so on the previous move instead.
Right.
So he avoids pawn to c5, goes pawn to a5 instead, still attacks the knight, but Andrea can now safely retreat the knight, and she has provoked a very slight weakening in Black's position. She retreated the knight, Dina.
What? Yeah, I was gonna say, like, how high would be the chance that Andrea plays knight d5? Because as we know, she always gets moves forward, and she put the bishop on h3 to do this, and this would be a big temptation, which would be actually very toxic, very wrong, because here biggest advantage of white, as you know already, is the space advantage. So changing pieces, minor pieces, would be actually in Black's favor. So I'm actually very pleased to see knight d3 because it shows a lot of maturity from Andrea, even though she put her bishop on h3 to kind of like have this 95 in their idea.
Yeah, knight d5 was an interesting alternative. There's nothing wrong in what Andrea did, though. And what I do like is that she's making her decisions quite quickly. And also, like you said, Dina, she's becoming more unpredictable in that she's no longer only moving forward. She's actually sometimes retreating. And that is some personal growth
Yeah,
on Andrea there.
absolutely. There we go. She learned. She learned. Um, yeah, we're good. We're good here. We like the position. And even, Hammer, speaking of personal growth, even bishop to h3 is a lot of personal growth because it shows that she knows she needs to finish the development, which she did. And I'm super happy to see
Oh,
that.
does she not finish her development normally? I
We
haven't
had a
noticed
lot of
that.
discussions on that, and chat is my witness. We had a lot of discussions on that previously, and sometimes I would feel very frustrated, and then I would tell her about everything about her, and I feel like we improved here as well. I feel like we actually she heard
Yeah,
me.
and when you say discussion,
Yeah.
did she get a talking to by Mother Dina?
Well, I think even though I seem like rough and toxic, I think I know how to get my points across and how to be kind of smooth and try to explain it. And I think she listens. I actually think she listens. We did have a couple of
Wow.
conversations. Like we did a FaceTime once in between. And I also sometimes I just send her a message after her game, kind of summarizing what I think about. And of course, she's more than welcome not to take my thoughts seriously. But hey, I think it doesn't hurt.
I have tried giving Andrea some feedback, and I gotta say, listening to what I'm saying is not really something she's doing. So I'm impressed with your ability to reach her with your assessments, Dina.
Well, I assume it's my female touch. You know when to be tough, but you also know when to be smooth. Or maybe she just likes me more than she likes you.
I think that probably has something to do with it. Okay, we're gonna let Andrea think about this. Her opponent did go knight to d7.
Okay.
So they're kind of going back and forth, both of them, with the knights. But that also means that Andrea moving her knight up hasn't really lost her any time
Great.
because she also managed to get her opponent to go back and forth
Yeah,
with the knight.
I agree. These are really great. And we are back. So we were saying that for some reason, the position here is actually completely winning. Completely winning here for black. What is going on, Hammer?
I don't have the stream working on my end.
Oh, you need to refresh.
I thought I was. Yeah, what were the moves?
Yeah, so this position, the moves were b3, a takes b3, queen takes b3, knight to a4, bishop b2. And this position is completely winning for some reason. I'm not sure that the last move by Alexandra is actually doing it, but I don't know, Hammer, do you feel here -3
Well,
pawns?
my first instinct is if I can get b5, it's looking very promising. So I'm thinking bishop to e6, and then the idea is that if white goes bishop to a1, I can go pawn to b5. My plan is to try and lure the white queen forward to capture the pawn, and then trap the queen.
Say again.
Can you put the
Yeah.
bishop to e6,
Okay.
bishop
And
to a1,
mm-hmm. And
pawn
B.
to b5?
Okay.
So this plan I think looked very nice because since I put the bishop on e6, the bishop is pointing in towards the white queen. So and for that reason, the white pawn cannot capture black's pawn. And if the white queen captures the
Yeah. Sorry, you got confused by my arrows. I know you don't like
yeah,
them.
there were a lot of arrows.
Yeah.
So and after pawn to b5, if the queen captures the black pawn, then I've trapped the queen in my little web of deceit.
Oh my god,
After
this is
rook
so
to
beautiful.
b8, queen is trapped.
This is so beautiful. Unfortunately, Alexandra did not play bishop e6. Instead, she played queen to a5, which still advantage very well. Oh. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to yeah. Um we are back. We're back. Yeah. Um I'm gonna go ahead and um you see this position on the board, queen a5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what we have right now, unless you see. Oh, actually, white made a move. For sure, white made a
Yeah.
move.
So we've had a couple more moves.
Yeah.
But right now the threat is that the black queen together with the black bishop is pointing towards the knight on d2.
Okay.
And Alexandra is thinking, in case white just defends the knight, something like rook to d1,
Okay.
then Alexandra will be able to capture the white bishop.
Knight to b2.
Yeah.
Rook or queen. And then take on a3.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is great.
This looks very nice for Alexandra, and her opponent realized that, which is why he played bishop to c1 instead. So he's still defending the white knight, but he makes sure that Alexandra cannot take out the white bishop, since then the bishop will no longer be able to defend that weakened pawn on the side of the board. And that's part of the reason, that's part of what we said, for why it was such a good thing that Alexandra managed to push her pawn along the edge of the board, because she did open up for her rook, and her rook and queen are now working together, putting pressure on white's a3 pawn.
Got it. Do you think? Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think that was the only way to lead to a win, to play that bishop e6 and b5?
No. It was a cool variation, but what Alexandra is doing should be more than enough to win the game.
Right. This is one of those moments when you see -3, which is like 3 extra pawns for black. You see -3, but
It's not a
okay. Yep. Okay. Sorry, Chad. My OBS keeps disconnecting. I'll go ahead and put another computer in the meantime, because I think it will be a better fix. But yeah, Hammer, if you could, I think we're back again. If you could perhaps summarize overall, I think the situation is amazing, honestly, for both of the ladies.
Yeah. So Andrea is dominating the center of the board with her pawns. She's managed to advance her pawns quite aggressively on the king side, which kind of led to her opponent hiding the king on the opposite flank. But even with the black king on the queen side, Andrea has shown her intention to try and put pressure on the king over there. So we're feeling optimistic about Andrea being in an attacking position. The only concern is that Andrea's opponent is playing very, very quickly, which means Andrea might get into time trouble, which sounds familiar because it is. So we'll see how she handles it. It's not a situation Andrea is unfamiliar with. So we'll see how that goes. Alexandra, on the other hand, she also has her pawns further advanced in the center of the board. But she's also managed to open up for her rook along the right side of the board, and black's rook there is pointing down towards a white pawn. And that is Alexandra's priority at the moment, trying to exploit the pressure she has down the queen side towards that white pawn on the edge of the board that is not protected by other white pawns. In fact, its main protector is white's bishop. But we've seen several instances in which that white bishop ends up getting traded off.
Right.
And if the bishop is traded off, then Alexandra is very likely to win the pawn on the edge of the board. So overall, looking very good for both girls, but also they are outrating their opponents by 200 points. Both girls are playing in the B section in this tournament, which means that they're more likely to win a lot of games compared to the previous tournament in Formentura. Yeah, we're hopeful that's going to be a successful decision, and right now it definitely appears to be good chances for both girls.
Yeah, which cannot but please. And this is amazing for you, Chad, because we have lots of giveaways. And if one of the sisters wins today, if we score a point, we're going to have even more giveaway than expected. We going to have 1,500 more, 1,500 more dollars for giveaways. Yeah. Well,
Prediction says oblique. Alex is in competition for winning the entire tournament. That would be a big fight back after her how miserable she was in the previous week, Dina.
Yeah, it would be good. It's like we were talking about this with Alex. I think in Prague, she was in Prague it was a tough tournament, but then she came to Reykjavik and she started with scoring her biggest win ever against the Niam. Which
so bad results one week doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to continue having bad results, but I do think it's admirable managing to turn it around anyway.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Do you want to get the board right for Alexandra?
Let me update that. So queen a5, bishop c1, knight c3.
Yeah.
Rook a1.
The knight is attacking the rook, so the rook has to move away. Giuseppe Maras, he chose to move the rook into the corner, but then the black rook comes up, and now Alexandra is trying to use her rook to put pressure in towards the white queen. She wants to go rook to b6 next, putting pressure on white's queen. And I really like this plan. Her opponent went bishop to b2. But after bishop to b2, I don't know when you're following the move, Stina.
If you like after rook a6, bishop b2.
Yeah, just let me know when you're. And then knight to a4 was played by Alexandra, and this is very reminiscent of the situation we had just a couple of moves ago, where Alexandra also had her queen and bishop pointing in towards the knight on d2. On d2. But now, as a bonus, Alexandra is threatening to use her rook to put pressure on white's queen.
Damn, this is everything's collapsing here.
Well, I mean, he has to move his bishop back again.
Exactly.
He has no choice. But
It has to
that's a bit
protect.
depressing, having spent the last 4 or 5 moves. Of the last 5 moves, White has gone back and forth with that bishop repeatedly.
Right. Yeah, that's funny. I mean, it's actually sad. You know, it's tragic comedy. That's how I would call it.
Well, we're happy with it though.
True. True. Um, yeah. Who do you think is gonna win first? I mean, you don't want to jinx it, so you probably don't want to answer that question.
I mean, you already jinxed it. What do you mean you don't want to jinx it?
It's like you
Who
don't
do
have to
you
answer the
think is gonna
question.
win first? That is already the biggest jinx I've ever heard. Although I don't believe in jinxes, it must be
Really?
said.
You're not? I thought us pro chess players were all superstitious.
No, I am very superstitious. I just, as a commentator, I just feel like I wanna talk in. I don't know if this is an English expression, but in Norwegian we say talk in headlines. And so basically it means to speak so um confidently and clearly that what you say can just be used in a newspaper headline to completely summarize the position. And often, in order to get the headlines, you have to say something slightly controversial. So I like to say, she's definitely gonna win this 100%. I stake my chess career on this, and it doesn't always work out, but I think as entertainment, it works quite well in the long run. And if I was afraid that I would jinx things saying someone is gonna win, then I would never be able to do that.
Understood. Understood. Yeah, I remember when I was playing like younger, I had this tradition, for example, for pants. I know some chess players don't change. Like literally, Jan Nepomniachtchi at the match at the World in Dubai would not change his. Oh, I think it was not at Dubai. It wasn't the candidates in Madrid. He would not change his outfit, his shirts, because he was, like he kept winning, right? He wanted to keep his winning score. And I remember when I was a kid, I still have it, like to write with a winning pen, and if you lost, you change the pen.
How do you explain that chess players, which, although chess players being smart is, of course, a massive exaggeration, and we know that very well firsthand, there is a certain bit of logic to the game of chess. How do you how why is it, do you think, that chess players can be these illogical creatures in competition and then be the most erratic, crazy lunatics when it comes to superstition and other things?
I like how you say it. Like, were you a good student, Hammer, in school?
No, I was a terrible student, but that's because I wasn't really interested because I was only doing chess. Chess is a direct cause of me being a bad student because I was never really interested in anything else growing up.
Yeah, I actually can relate. It was the same for me, but um yeah, I think it's a big myth that, good chess players are like super smart and logical in other fields. And chess is not just logic. Sometimes it's art. Many players, they just, have this instincts and they come up with these great moves. They don't even know why. There are so many things, it's like chess has like to be good at chess. It's like, it's so complex. So yeah, but that being said, it doesn't like, it's like, it doesn't make anything worse. It definitely helps in your life in certain ways, but it's not like, it's important where we come from. What comes first? You good at chess or you're good at other things?
That being said, through chess, I did go to an athlete school where we went to school with like soccer players and wrestlers and ice hockey guys and stuff. And then even though I didn't put a lot of work into school, I was definitely one of the people with the best grades.
Nice.
So yeah, it's also about the environment you're in, I think. It helps having other people who are completely obsessed with one thing, because then you can be, you know what they say, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, and that's kind of how I was in high school. And Magnus was
Nice.
there sometimes, but Magnus didn't show up for school often enough to get good grades.
Oh, you mean you were in the same school, right? Yeah, I didn't realize. Wow. Man, this is crazy. Um, who would have thought? All these people that come to Botezlive, they're all such big. They're all so close to the former world champion. Man, I feel
He's
honored.
the current world champion, Dina. Thank you very much.
Current world champion?
Blitz and Rapid.
Oh.
We Norwegians were clutching at straws. We need to keep whatever we can. He's still the current world champion. It's just the entire country of Norway has decided that now that Magnus quit the classical title, we no longer care about classical. Now we're all about the Blitz and Rapid, and there he is still the champ.
Okay. Got it. Sorry about that.
Okay. So Alexandra is thinking about how she's going to win this position. Her opponent went with the bishop back to c1, and that's the current situation. In Andrea's game, Andrea has moved forward,
Okay.
which is more what we appreciate from her. So she's played knight to b5, exploiting the fact that she managed to force the black a pawn one step forward,
Uh-huh.
and that means the black pawn is now unable to defend on b5. She gets a question mark for that, but
Yeah.
it is an attacking move, so I don't think there's anything massively wrong with it. Her opponent goes king to b8, so he gets out of the diagonal where the white bishop was pointing down.
Okay. And now Andre's back on track again.
She played a4, and I like this a4 move partly because it's defending the knight, but I also like it because there are some opportunities for Andrea moving forward where she could go pawn to b4.
Okay.
So let's say black does a nothing move, say rook to f8.
Ooh, a nothing move. B4.
So I said rook to f8.
Yeah.
And then,
B4.
yeah, b4. And now one of the advantages Andrea has of having played a4 is that her opponent cannot avoid the trade between these two pawns being put up against each other.
Correct.
So normally black would want to push their pawn further up the side of the board, but Andrea's pawn is preventing that. So black has no choice here but to allow the trade to happen, say pawn takes on b4, but then Andrea can move her queen into an attacking position. The queen will point down towards the black king, and I think it's going to be quite scary.
Oh, yeah.
Long term.
And you know what they say, whenever you're under attack, you see even more ghosts than usual.
So being on the offensive, being the one person doing the attacking,
When
can definitely have its benefits.
Yeah, like whenever you're under the pressure of being under attack, you always have this kind of like, oh my god, is he gonna checkmate me here? Is he gonna checkmate me there? It's like everything just seems so much scarier than it actually is. You do see these ghosts, as I said, and this is obviously in favor for Andrea here. And I mean, she loves bringing her queen up, so that's amazing. Interesting thought. Another good move would have been c4. Kind of bringing the pawn more to the center. I guess it's a matter of taste. Who prefers what? Probably b4 would still be an option, like on rook f b4. Or yeah, I guess. Well, Andrea chose a4. This is good. It's kind of more solid, I would say, for her king as well.
Yeah. After a4, her opponent played d5, which I think is just, it feels like a big mistake, but it starts creating the tension in the center of the board. So either it's decent or it's really, really bad, and there's nothing really in between. After pawn to d5, I think Andrea can just win the game instantly with bishop to f4 or queen to h2.
Ooh. Nice. Rook to c8.
So bishop to f4. If you go rook c8, we're gonna be able to go. I'm not sure whether I want to go queen to c3 or queen to h2, but in both cases, the queen participates in increasing the pressure against the c7 pawn, and it makes black very much regret their decision to move their pawn forward, which has opened up such easy access in towards the black king.
Right. Beautiful. I love this.
But there are some concerns about Andrea's time usage.
Oh, classic. Classic Andrea. I think we talked about it last week with my co-hosts. I think there was also this kind of like when you play the first round, yeah, the trap of the first round that she's still like you kind of already forgot what it's like to play like to have the rhythm, and you kind of still a little bit sleep during the game.
I kind of disagree. I feel like she's played faster than what I'm used to seeing from her.
Ooh.
It's just that her opponent is playing ridiculously fast. Her opponent hasn't spent more than 2 minutes. Her opponent has spent more than 2 minutes on one move. No, 2 moves. Like, none of her opponent's moves have been more than 4 minutes, and most of them has been under 2 minutes. So he's very actively trying to use the clock as a weapon against Andrea, but at the same time, he's made some poor decisions. So Andrea now, she does have quite an easy position to play. Her moves are straightforward in that they're targeting the king, which is also one of Andrea's favorite things to do on a chessboard. So I'm not super concerned, but it is going to be a factor in the game that her opponent is so ridiculously quick.
Yeah. Well, Hammer, you haven't seen Fermentera. In Fermentera, Andrea did a massive progress. There were games, I know it sounds unbelievable, but there were games where Andrea would actually be ahead on the clock from her opponents by far.
By far, you were already stretching it with a head, and then you're gonna go by far.
Yeah. Well, chat, am I lying or am I? I'm saying the truth, right? I'm saying the truth. You've been there, and sometimes she would just keep up with her opponent, but we did a tremendous progress there. So I think like I think she's gonna get like today is gonna it's just kind of she's more sleepy because she lost the habit, but she's gonna get back on track soon. Probably she wants to score as well because remember she has a feeling of losing the last two games she played chat, so she kind of also wants to force herself. So yeah, see, chat says I'm right. I'm always right.
Wow. Okay, she didn't go bishop f4 though, Dina. She ended up on queen to c3, but I think that's fine.
Okay.
The queen is good on c3. She's threatening on c7, and she may activate her bishop on the next move if she so chooses.
All right. Queen to c3. We're threatening c7. We're not afraid of c6 because of knight to d6 or even bishop f4, never mind. It's so much stronger with knight coming to c7. Oh my lands. And this could actually result in a checkmate. Very cute little checkmate. But yeah, if king 8, then it's a Botez gambit. We lose a queen with a fork on c7. So for those reasons, black should play rook c8. Have they played it already or still thinking?
What do you mean?
I think queen c3, rook c8. Oh, he played it, right? No?
Well, yeah, he played it in this moment.
There we go.
I'm watching on the stream, so I'm a bit delayed.
Yeah, and now we expect bishop to f4.
Yeah. And soon this guy is going to regret that he's playing so ridiculously fast. Although he can go queen d8. Somehow black is still not dead, despite all this pressure Andrea is creating.
Which is amazing. And Hammer, I'm gonna have to use this unique opportunity to remind you and everybody, the sponsor of our event. Ooh, wait a second. Andrea made another move, and it was not bishop f4, was it?
It was bishop f4.
Oh,
yeah.
Right. Amazing. Everything is perfect. And on that note, Andrea has just played bishop f4. Life is beautiful. Both sisters are actually in the winning position. I don't want to jinx it, but it is time for us to remind you that the sponsor of our event is Coinbase. And we have daily giveaways throughout the whole tournament. You know, guys, Coinbase already from various of streams that we had before. Coinbase is the most trusted and most secure cryptocurrency exchange on the market, used by over 140 million people globally. As supporters of the chess community, Coinbase is giving away over $20,000 in cryptocurrency throughout the Botez games at the Sardinia World Chess Festival. So viewers, make sure to enter using an email affiliate with your Coinbase account. And there will be one grand prize winner each day that receives $1,000 in crypto. And we also will give away $500 to each 3 people if sisters, even one of them wins today. But on that note, we actually know that, I mean, I don't want to jinx it once again, but both, who knows, maybe both would win. For those who are not selected, if you sign up using the link in chat or using promo code Botez20, you will already receive $20 in Bitcoin even after your first transaction. So be sure to sign up for your chance to win through the links in chat using commands Coinbase and Raffle. And I am so excited to see this beautiful positions here. I don't know whichever to start with. I guess we're gonna jump to Alexandra because she's been targeting that knight on d2 for a while, and I assume bishop must have come to c1 at some point.
Yeah, well, bishop c1 was played a while ago, and since then we've had a couple of extra moves. Oh no, wait. Wow, we've only had one move. Never mind.
Ooh.
So after bishop to c1, Alexandra has played bishop to e6, and
Okay.
that is the current situation in the game.
Bishop to e6. I love it. I love it, Hammer. We gotta, you know what we normally do. I mean, not that this is relevant, but we usually clap. We clap whenever the girls finish the development. Man, Hammer doesn't approve. Does he approve? Okay, chat, let's clap. Let's clap. Oh, there we go. Hammer claps.
So, somewhat unenthusiastic clapping on my end. I feel like finishing the development is the least you could do, but apparently you're the queen of positive reinforcement, Dina.
Well, Hammer, you haven't seen Alexandra's games throughout the previous tournament at Vermeter because finishing development was never happening in any of those games, especially by the end. You know, the number of times I would see a knight and a queen jumping around with a bishop on c1 and a rook on a8. The only reason I'm not as enthusiastic here about the claps is that you know already, people, whenever the bishop is in this situation on c8, kind of open the diagonal, and the rook is free to move, it is already kind of half developed piece. So technically we could have clapped like further way before that. But technically it's still good to see that Alexandra achieves the ultimate harmony on the board.
And what are you thinking now after something like queen to c2?
You're not considering queen b7, right? We gotta show our viewers that this is where the rook would come into action and trap the queen, and it would be the Botez gambit. Not that we would be opposed to that, but yeah, queen to c2. It's only a matter of time until we see b5. Maybe some preparation for that with rook to c8.
Well, after queen to c2, you have to be very careful, because suddenly white is introducing a very scary threat. So if we go rook to b8, which was probably the plan of this bishop to e6 move, then knight to b3 attacks both the queen on a5, and it also attacks the bishop on h6.
Right.
So because we have this bishop on the edge of the board, on the complete opposite flank of really where we're trying to execute our plans at the moment, we have to be very careful about not just blundering that bishop. But other than that, I feel like as long as Alexandra keeps those threats under control, I think this is going to be good.
Yeah, so she gonna do something, and one of possible moves here can be simply to move the queen away. Maybe the queen has done their job. You can either move it back or even consider advancing to c3. Something tells me Alexandra would never do it. Like, it's kind of like, why would you think about trading queens here? But the cool thing is, like, for some reason, like why? I mean, for many reasons, white just doesn't have any move
I
here.
want to take. Oh, you don't want to take with a pawn, Dina?
Oh,
this is an interesting discussion to have, though.
Yeah.
Taking with a knight or taking with a pawn. One of the things I really like about taking with a pawn is that it opens up the square on d4 for my other knight.
You got the outpost on the open file. You attack the knight. You want this lady to go further away. I mean, the bishop is retreated, so let's say something like knight b3. Oh my god. The strongest move here would be to say, watch me, baby. What you gonna do now with your bishop on c1? This is some GM level move. Bishop to back to g7.
Okay, yeah, no, I was not gonna play that, but that is very clever.
Yeah.
But I was gonna trade the bishops and then go knight to d4, which I think should also be quite good, right?
Okay, yeah. No, that's amaze me. You know what's amaze me, Hammer?
No.
Amaze me is alternative way of saying amazing. Okay, never mind. I was pranking you. That's fine. Chat knows. Knight to f1. And now Hammer didn't approve. Okay, that's fine. Knight to f1. We still take on. He still take, and then the rook takes, and then we go to knight to d4, and then knight to e5, and then knight to e2, and we got a fork. Okay, back to serious chess. Queen c3 is a strong move.
I'm still trying to understand what just happened.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Chat knows. I mean, it's yeah. I sometimes say words that don't exist because I make fun of my own self as I'm not a native speaker, you know, and that was and it's very contagious actually, and even girls started using these words. It's like amaze me and surprise me instead of amazing and surprising. But you do not have to process that, not right now. I think we gotta focus on the moves.
Okay, we have a move from Dario, but Dario for the first time in this entire game, he spent more than 4 minutes on a move, which I think is really an indication of how much pressure Andrea has put on this Dario.
Yay! There we go. Now we're talking. Dario is thinking, he's finally realizing what all the Darius that he has started in his diary.
We're just jealous he has such a great name. And coming from me, that's a big statement. I thought I was the king of great names in chess, but Dario has potentially overtaken me.
There is always something about this Italians, you know, there is a beauty behind their names and the pronunciation. So I'm sure there are even better versions that exist out there. Italian is a beautiful language. What do you think, chat?
But Dina, in terms of just moves, is Andrea not just immediately winning now? He played knight to c6.
Ooh.
But
really?
After knight to c6, I'm very tempted to capture the pawn on d5.
Oh, pawn captures and then?
Well, the thing is that after the trade, black has to capture back with their pawn, which is very unfortunate because that opens up the diagonal for white's bishop on h3. And it also opens up for the rook through the center of the board down towards the black queen. So just having those two available points of pressure against the black position, it just feels like black shouldn't be allowed to survive such a thing.
Yeah, let's say if queen goes to d8, how are you gonna, like, what would be the your next?
Well, I wouldn't even play rook e1 if I'm honest.
Really?
Because I think queen to d8 is an important move for black that he's gonna have to do at some point anyway because of the pressure we're making, especially from our bishop pointing towards the c7 square. In order for that pawn on c7 to get extra protection, black is going to have to go queen to d8 at some point, and then I don't want to be the one kind of chasing him to do a move that he wants to do anyway.
I can understand that.
But the question then becomes, how do we then increase the pressure instead?
Exactly. I think for someone like Andrea, like, okay, chat, we sit here all with our beautiful evil bar and we see, oh my god, +4. It's like as if Andrea had 4 pawns up. But the real question is, how do we win? It's like almost like the Alexander position just before. You understand when you look at it, you understand that it's like something's gotta be there. Something's gonna be there quick and soon. But Andrea has only 17 seconds. And now I'm talking from experience. Sometimes you gotta be careful not to fall into the trap of thinking that, okay, there must be a direct way to win. Where is it? And you start calculating and you burn all your time. And then you get into a ton trouble and then you still don't find it. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of just continuing to play good moves, because the position is gonna just collapse, your opponent's position is gonna collapse on its own. Does that make sense, Hammer?
I think so.
I also think so. Thank you, Hammer.
Andrea played, and she didn't take on d5. She played rook e1 first.
Okay. The threat is known as Romans would say, the threat is stronger than the execution. Were these Romans? The problem is that your opponent can take now, and then we don't have the same idea. So for now, we'd be really a little bit delayed with e4, with d5, sorry, because of the bishop on g7. But we can always move the queen away and then push the d5. And you know, the beauty of this position is that we have this cushion of safety, the pillow of safety, translated from Russian, that whatever Andrea does, she's always gonna be pretty much winning one way or another.
Yeah, but I guess we care more about her time usage than the accuracy of her moves, essentially.
Yeah.
I think I would welcome her opponent if he were to trade the pawns in the center, because then Andrea would have a very clear plan of pushing her pawns forward afterwards. So I think he's going to go queen to d8.
Okay.
And then the question remains, how does Andrea increase the pressure there?
Right. And the best option would be still to go the same road after take, and then just do something. One of these somethings, okay, this is, chat, this is exactly what I mean. One of the best moves here, according to Stockfish, is to play king to b1.
Wow.
Do you see what I mean? The position is completely winning. Like, Hammer even removed his glasses for that reason. He's trying to see it through, you know, he's trying to clean his eyes to understand what the heck is going on. But it is true, White's position is so winning, and at the same time there are no concrete solution. You just improve and then look at your opponent and ask them, what do you want to do and what are you gonna do?
Yeah, but what is she gonna do, Dina? King b1 is not really the answer to what is she gonna want to do. I need a minute, Dina, to try and fix my eyes.
Sure.
I'll be back.
I understand. It's understandable. The position here is so like unusual. Like, guys, we have this situation on the board where Andrea is 4 pawns up. But you don't see. Even I want to clear my eyes. I'm not mocking Hammer. I think it's hilarious that, like, even, yeah, the chess allergies. Like, you really want to, it's just how you say it. It's both figuratively speaking, you actually want to understand what is actually going on here. Let's try to break this down. Imagine, like, black does something like king a8. So you can continue with waiting moves. Basically, the point is that there is no way black can improve here. Like, even something like rook e8, rook takes, queen takes, and then we still get rook e1, and then queen d8, and then black will have no move. Black will have absolutely no move. So, at some point, I'll be honest with you, you do want to break through. Where are you gonna break through? Exactly. You're gonna break through with the B pawn here. You know, at some point when you reach the maximum and then nothing works, you need this breakthrough, right? You need to proceed. And here it's gonna be the pawn push to B4. And once that happens, let's say B4 takes, knight takes, you cannot really take, you gotta take here because the knight is attacked. Queen takes, and then what you gonna do next? I would say every single piece of black is kind of doomed and pinned in their own way. You can try this, but then this is attacked. If you're gonna go back, oh my god, plus 11, almost plus 12. Plus 12 is like we got an extra queen. Bro, there is no capture in this position, and it's like Andrea has an extra queen on the board. A5, and after pawn takes A5, rook E8 is plus 70. Rook E8, it's mate in 9. Bishop C7. Okay, let's do something beautiful here. Up, up, up. No! Up, up. Ooh, up. I'm trying to find a mate. Check. King A2. Okay, I think you got it, right? You got it? You got it, chat? You got it. I don't need to be over dramatic here. So B4 is gonna be the key. Yeah, pretty much anything. So I'm not worried about this. Andrea, what did Andrea do? Do you see? What did Andrea do? Did she take? Welcome back, Hammer.
No, she didn't take.
She didn't take. What did she play? Ooh, and now he took. All right, chat. I need your help. What did Andrea do? Did she play King B1?
Well, she played Rook E1. What do you mean?
Rook E1. I thought it was what? Oh, I thought. Oh, yeah. No, wait. It was black to move. Because after Rook E1, he did something.
Yeah, he took on E4.
Oh, that's all? No, it's now white to move after Rook E1. Rook E1, Queen D8 he played?
No, Queen D8 he did not play.
Queen D8 was our move. I got it. So now it all makes sense. So his queen is on E8 and he took on E4, and after pawn takes, Andrea's got her solid advantage. Hammer, I think Andrea is doing still very good here, and we need to check on Alex because that girl was really close to do something. I am interested if she cooked.
Yeah.
She was cooking something there.
So in Alexandra's game, I'm not sure what the position you have up is, but instead of Queen C2, her opponent went Knight B1.
Oh my god! I'm sorry. It's just hard for me to keep myself together when I see so many knight moves. If we were to calculate the amount of times White's knight from on B1 moved and how many times Andrea's knight from G1 moved, which knight would win the battle?
I'm pretty sure the white knight. Oh no, actually it returned. Yeah. So it's 4 moves on Maras's knight,
I think it's.
and Andrea moved her knight 5 times.
I think
So
it's more.
Andrea's knight wins.
Hammer wasn't the knight on b3 at some point and then on f1. I think it's more.
No, no, it was never on B3.
Oh.
It went to F1 and then it's gone back to B1, its original square,
Oh.
which is not great for a knight moving back and forth like that. But you adjust to the situation at hand.
Usually in these situations, because Chad always loves when I'm being dramatic, so I say, let's do something like, okay, let's do king h1 and then queen f1 and then king g1 and then bishop f1 and then king h8, sorry, and king h1 and then king g8 and then knight g1, and then the mission's gonna be completed. This is usually how I roast people who put the knight back to b1. Well, obviously I don't hang the bishop on h6. I know it's hanging. I would be curious if the best would be to put the bishop back to g7 instead of here knight b1, bishop b7. There is also rook b6. Did Alex do that?
No, so Alice, she took on C1.
Oh no. Okay. Takes, rook
And
takes.
then after takes back, she went F6.
Prophylactical thinking. Interesting.
Yeah, so she's making sure that the white knight cannot go to the G5 square
Okay.
to attack her bishop. She's also reinforcing her pawn in the center, so it's a nice dual purpose.
Yeah, it's the barrier
Move.
against the knight.
Her opponent played rook a2, and then Alexandra went rook. Now Alexandra has played b5. So Alexandra is she's cooking. She's having some very nice ideas on the queen side. My only concern would be if Alexandra ended up giving her opponent a good square.
Right. My friend
on that queen side.
Yeah.
So my concern after b5 is whether Maras can go knight f to d2.
Okay.
So the idea would be to try and have the knight recapture on c4. And if white is able to get that situation, then they would have a better position than they've had the entire game, I feel like.
All right, give me the moves once again after b5.
Knight f to d2.
Oh, sorry, knight f to d2.
c4, and then knight takes c4.
Okay. Ooh. Yeah.
So that would be a very good positioned knight on c4 for Alexandra's opponent.
Right, I love that. I love the knight, but it wouldn't be enough though for some reason. It would be an improvement. Okay. It would be an improvement.
I'm surprised the computer doesn't like this for white, because this is pretty much literally the best thing he can hope for.
I guess it's one of those situations when everything is bad, you can try something, but yeah.
One of the features of the position is that white's knight on b1 is kind of stuck being on that square for the rest of the game. Or maybe not rest of the game, but for the foreseeable future at the very least. Anytime Giuseppe, Alexandra's opponent, anytime he tries to move the knight off the b1 square, for instance, going to d2 to help protect the c4 pawn.
Yeah. Right.
Then
d2.
Alexandra will be able to get her knight into the heart White's position.
Which was my dream from the very beginning.
And your dream is coming true, Dina.
Yay! Wait, for real? Is this happening?
No, but in this variation.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Makes
And
sense.
then the fact that the knight has to remain on its B1 square to prevent this means that, well, that's part of the reason why Alexandra's position is so good, right? Zorn says that they would love to see Alexandra and Andrea facing each other in this tournament.
Come on, everybody would love to see that.
Oh no, there's no doubt about that. I'm just saying Alexandra is not a fan of it. But what I was going to say is that if it happens in this tournament, it's probably going to be because they're both doing very well. Because they're both some of the highest rated players in this tournament.
Correct.
Alexandra is rated as number 5. And Andrea, she's number 28. And there's a total of 100 players.
Which is insane.
They're both quite. I mean, Alexandra is potentially a favorite to win the entire thing.
Yeah. I like that. I was actually surprised that Alexandra decided to play in this section as well. But that makes sense. I think they're in that point of kind of like that. You know, Hammer, I'm bringing this up because as a player myself, I always have mixed feelings about whether you should play in a stronger section or a weaker section. For me personally, I always have better results against like stronger players, because in the end of the day, I think that any player can play strong and any player can play equally strong and equally weak and the difference is the ratings, because when you lose or make a draw, it differently affects your rating list. So I would always prefer to be the bottom seat with the Wolves rather than the top and then have to prove something. Like now that Alex is top 5 of the tournament, she kind of has to play the top 3, right? Otherwise she might be disappointed, and I think it's also adds pressure and you have to win every game. But that being said, the mental and psychological state that they are after Fermentera actually is like important to score some points, to feel the blood on your teeth. Sorry about that.
Feel the blood on your teeth? What's your diet, Dina?
Well, I usually take Grandmasters for breakfast.
Wow. I mean, yeah. You once asked me whether I wanted to do some filming, but let me just say on behalf of grandmasters everywhere that we're not going to be interested in filming videos with you if you continue entertaining these thoughts of cannibalism.
Do you think Jan, Krzysztof Duda, and who else that I beat? And Vidit Gujarati regretted their life choices after they agreed to play a game against me and ended up being defeated on my YouTube channel?
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
We got a move in Andrea's game. Andrea played queen to c4.
Okay.
Which is a move I like. She's trying to prepare pawn to d5 to try and open up the power of her rooks and her bishops. Andrea pretty much got everything pointing down towards her opponent's king. So it feels quite positive in that regard. First her opponent played queen e7. Sorry, Dina.
Yeah. Queen e7. I was trying to find that one, and now queen to c4. I also like that. Man, I feel like Yeah, it's just so cool to see all these things happening.
And now, Dario de Dario, he played rook h to d8.
Wait, was that Norwegian Italian?
Maybe, I don't know.
To e8,
I
you
feel
said.
like the Italians are very Norwegians are told that we sing while speaking, but surely that's the case for the Italians as well, right?
Yeah.
Rook d8, Dina.
Oh, sharks. I missed this one. I thought it was e8.
So now the big question is whether or not Andrea can push her pawn in the center of the board. I would be very surprised if she didn't do it. She's getting pretty low on the clock. Very
Yeah.
much because her opponent is such a quick player.
Hammer,
But
this is getting so hot. I feel like I need to put the air conditioner on. Give me a second.
oh, you're actually putting the air conditioner on. Oh, I thought she was just okay. I mean, there's being slow and there's actually okay. Never mind.
Yeah. Is Andrea gonna push the pawns? Because the temperature is going up in both of the boards, just as it is here in the studio.
So let's investigate this pawn to d5.
Okay. Let's investigate.
Because I'm concerned that if Andrea pushes this pawn, she will give the opponent a very nice square on e5, which will block our bishop's threats in towards the black king.
Should I put the knight? Let's d to... What? Why not? Oh, because you attack the queen, sorry. Knight d to e5, knight takes, and then a knight takes. Oh no, bishop
Wait,
takes.
why are we not moving the knight that's under attack?
Apparently it's bad. Because you just...
Well, then we should figure out why it's bad.
No, it's actually not. It's not actually not. I don't know what is this. I think what is important here is that wherever knight goes, after you have to take with a bishop. You cannot take with a knight. Do you know why?
No, I would take with a knight probably.
This is losing because hello, my friend. How are you doing here? Beautiful pin, isn't it? Even your e6 pawn is pinned. You cannot like protect the knight because
Yeah, no, that's the problem, right? I thought I could get out of it by by making a capture in the center.
So the only move
then,
is this.
I lose the rook.
Yeah. And then it's quite tough to spot, right? And here you have to take, knight takes, and then like the white only has a slight advantage. So here
oh my god, Andrea just sacrificed. Dina, Andrea sacrificed.
What? Who? Who did she sacrifice? Who did she throw?
She played knight takes c7.
Knight takes c7. Oh god. Rook takes.
I guess she's gonna take again. She's gonna force the king into the same diagonal as the queen, and then go pawn to d5.
Ooh.
It kind of seems to work.
Yeah, it does. It does work. Like
I'm kind of embarrassed I didn't think about this.
Look at you, Hammer. You have a lot to learn from Andrea Botez. Yeah.
You're back?
Yes, we're back. I figure it out, chat. We're gonna bear with this today. It's gonna be fixed tomorrow. It's my I think it's my Wi-Fi router that is is bugging, but I'll fix that for tomorrow. We're gonna bear with this today. So d5 and then knight to c5. And
yeah, this is my idea.
Knight takes.
If knight takes c5, then knight e5.
Knight e5. And
I'm
knight
spotting the problem.
a6. King d7
Yeah.
and queen b5.
Well, my plan here was not king d7. My plan was to go king b8.
Oh yeah, right, Hammer. Good luck with that.
Yeah, okay, so that doesn't work.
So she's gonna win this. The only move here is knight to b8.
Yeah, but then she's so that was a good combination, right? She sacrificed a bishop and a knight for a rook, but then she put her opponent's king in a dangerous position to enable her to win a knight for a pawn at the end of it. And when we do all our calculations, it's going to be that she got a rook in trade for a bishop, which is quite a good trade.
Right. Hammer, can you do me a favor and switch your camera on and off quick? Oh, actually, I think you're back.
You still might want me to do it?
Yeah, if you could do it. Because you were... Oh, wow. Up. Here he comes. Here he comes, chat. He's back strong and fast. Okay. This is beautiful. So the only thing I would add about this position, everybody focus, is that it was already so good and so winning. Like, can you imagine here why it was like 3 pawns up? And after taking on c7, Andrea's only gonna be 1 pawn and a half up. Which means that sometimes it's just, life is so good. You don't have to sacrifice. This is actually your best friend, famous Norwegian-born grandmaster, Dutch grandmaster, Sergei Tivikov would tell me, when you're already in the winning position and you consider sacrificing, don't. Just don't do it, because you don't need to give any, like, what's the point of giving the risk? What's the risk for your opponent?
But at the same time, you need to make a breakthrough, though, Dina, right?
True.
So having very nicely placed pieces, it's all well and good, but at some point you do have to win something, right?
Yeah.
You have to change your advantage of having better placed pieces into an advantage of having more pieces as a result of your better placed pieces. And that's kind of what Andrea is doing now, right? She spotted this variation where she ends up getting a rook in trade for a bishop at the end of all the complications. And she's saying, okay, I wasn't sure how to make my breakthrough in the current situation. So, but I do see a way where I can have rook for a bishop, and that's going to be an easier advantage for me to convert long term.
Correct. Yeah, I like that. Okay.
And she got her opponent thinking, which frankly hasn't been a common theme today. Her opponent has played most of his moves super quickly.
Well,
but here he actually did pause to try and figure out what's coming up next.
It was right about time. It was right about time he started thinking.
Andrea is on move 25, so she needs to play another 15 moves. And honestly, I don't even know if she's getting more moves on move 40, but I'll start doing that research immediately.
In the meantime, Alexandra's game has Do we have any updates with Alexandra? I believe her opponent is thinking. Do you see any move, chat? It is, yeah, we definitely have 30 minutes extra after move 40. Knight.
Well, I mean, in your current position, that's knight f to d2 was played.
Queen b6 and f4. What?
Yeah.
f4?
Alexandra's opponent is attacking on the side of the board where he's not doing great. But sometimes that can be your best bet at trying to survive. Because sometimes you gotta put some pressure on your opponent to provoke some mistakes.
Yeah, I can see that happening. Let's say we take.
Yeah, so taking, I guess, is tempting, but then after pawn takes back, now white actually has some hope of getting the bishop on g2 into the game. Previously, the bishop on g2 was completely blocked by its own pawn on e4. And the pawn on e4 could never get away because there was always a black pawn standing in its way. Whereas now, if Alexandra acquiesced to the trade, then she's going to have to start counting on white making a pawn sacrifice through the center in order to activate their bishop. So
yeah, but she doesn't have to take, right?
No. What are you doing now?
I was trying to find the to show this beautiful bishop on g2 to the audience compared to the pawn on e5. But all right, what do you want me to show?
Well, if you go to the current position, I would argue that you just keep the pawn on e5, so that the black pawn remains blocking the white pawn on e4, and so long as the white pawn is on e4, there's no hope for white's bishop to get into the game.
Yeah, I agree with that. White doesn't have to take. I don't know why it's the first move. Probably because we can grab the pawn here for free.
Well, this is not the position, Dina.
Oh, really?
I don't know why, but you went away from the current position in the game.
Oh, tell me, what was the current position?
With the queen b6 instead of takes on on c4.
Oh, she didn't take. Oh, all right. Apologies on that. I thought she took.
So after queen b6 and f4, one of the ideas that I think is quite interesting for Alexandra, she might want to play pawn to b4.
Yeah, opening up this a file. And if pawn takes the knight to b4, and then there is a fork, which would be just fantastic.
Yeah. So the only way white can really respond to this b4 move, because I'm also threatening pawn to b3. The pawn cannot be captured, and I'm threatening pawn to b3. So I feel like white would need to go knight b3 here.
Okay.
But then, since I moved my pawn to b4, I have an extra protector on the c3 square. So now I go knight to c3, even though white did such a good job trying to keep that square protected, keeping the knight on the b1 square. It turns out it wasn't enough, and I'm able to come into there with my knight. And b4 has been played.
Whoa!
Alexandra has played b4. So I'm very happy with that move from Alexandra, and I'm quite confident she's going to win it now.
Let's
She's not
go.
getting distracted by White's pawn play on the king side, and she has a very clear plan now moving forward, getting her knight into the c3 square. So I'm very, very confident about Alexandra. And then Andrea, her opponent, he chose not to capture the knight, which strikes me as quite a surprising decision, Dina.
Wow, really? He did that?
So he went king to a2 instead.
A7, you mean?
Yeah, a7. Yeah.
Who would have thought that I had to correct the grandmaster with the notation? But that.
Well, I don't know why, but I very often mess up the wrong way around. So I say a2 when I mean a7, and I say f6 when I mean f3. I don't know why it is, but something is wired in my brain to mess that up quite often.
It's okay, Hammer. Many experts do that. So that being said, usually stays among experts, like 2000s.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
Knight b5 has been played by Andrea. She's checking the black king. The king has to go back hiding in the corner. And now Andrea found the very nice move bishop to d6.
Boom.
She's forcing the black queen into a bad square. And after the queen retreats, Andrea is probably planning to go knight to c7. However, I'm actually liking Dario's idea to just move the king. One of the benefits of this plan he has is that when Andrea now goes knight to c7, you can see the eval bar actually shoot down in Andrea's disfavor, because after this knight to c7, black can sacrifice their rook, and when Andrea recaptures with her bishop, the black rook will attack the white bishop again. The white bishop will have to move away, but when the bishop retreats, then black can start an attack against the white king and queen, who are both on the c file. Knight captures pawn in the center. The rook attacks the queen. The queen is in trouble. The queen will have to retreat, and then the white king is in trouble thereafter. I'm very impressed with Dario's idea here, to sacrifice the pawn to kind of give up his rook, but later on, in an effort to not recapture with the king, getting his king on the same file as the white queen, and instead opening up for his rook to point down towards the white king and the white queen. I'm very concerned about this for Andrea.
There is one move here, better say one idea that can save Andrea from any danger. She needs to fill the moment. It's actually not complicated. I think she can find it. She indeed should not move her bishop away from c7. She has to use that bishop as a shield for her queen and her king, and instead try to trade this super dangerous knight for the bishop. And Andrea does it very often, chat, right? Counterattacking, not getting back, not going back, not protecting, but counterattacking with d5. And after rook takes, we eliminate this danger, and the rook alone cannot do anything anymore. Will she be able to spot that? And I do think, she doesn't have to go knight c7.
Oh, sure, yeah. Well, maybe she shouldn't go knight c7 for this reason.
Yeah, of course, but that's high level. To tell to Andrea, don't take that exchange. It's like don't be a cheap girl. It's like, it takes some understanding.
Are these hour-long games? Asks Ben. The normal length of these games is like 3.5 hours. And sometimes they can last up to like 6 hours if you play a lot of moves. So these are known as classical games, and someone like Andrea really needs that amount of time because you can tell she's already down to just 7 minutes on the clock, and her opponent is about to start a counterattack.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Time is money, as they say. Speaking of money, don't forget to check out the commands that we have in chat because this tournament is presented to you by Coinbase. Use the command Raffle and Coinbase to participate in a giveaway. And we might have even more giveaways today because girls are about to win. On that note, I spilled the tea, so I now am trying to find a napkin.
Okay, so in... Oh no, Andrea's opponent moved. Which means Andrea's clock is ticking again. And she has very limited time to figure out that she shouldn't go for the fork.
Come on, Andrea, don't be cheap. Think. You have bigger goals in this position. What do you think, Hammer?
I think she's gonna play it. I've never seen a fork Andrea hasn't wanted to go for.
Exactly. Exactly my point. I spilled the tea on a DGT clock. What do you think, chat? What's the chance that the clock is gonna get destroyed? Right, never mind. Okay. What is happening here? I see everybody is entertained. How's Alex doing?
Well, Alexandra is thinking about this knight to c3 move that we wanted. So her opponent did play knight b3, and the position we have up is the current situation in that game.
Oh, all right. So nothing changed.
And we're just waiting for Alexandra to get her knight into the heart of White's position, and then it's all gonna be over. Alexandra doubles her rooks on the A file instead, but it's not a big problem because the thing is, what would be bad is if her Alexandra's opponent could capture the white pawn and make some trades. But as long as Alexandra is making sure that pawn takes pawn is met by knight takes and a proper fork. Dina, you with me?
Mm-hmm. I heard pawn takes pawn and knight forks, but what was the white move?
Well, first she went rook b to a8.
Yeah, that I have. No, I don't. Oh. Oh.
And Andrea didn't go for the fork.
Oh, yes.
Well done, Andrea.
Amazing.
That is actually excellent from her.
Wow.
But yeah, as I was saying, Alexandra is always winning as long as the pawn trade cannot happen. And the pawn trade cannot happen here because the knight would recapture and attack both the queen and the rook. So Alexandra has things under control. And then let's back up to the current situation and then switch over to Andrea. And Andrea played this move pawn to e5.
Okay. Wow. Wait, what? And if knight jumps? Or you mean d5?
E5.
You're sure about this one?
I mean, look at the screens in front of you. You can see the camera.
Don't scream at me. I have 20 different scripts at the same time.
Okay. Well, then trust me then.
Okay, no, but I was actually trolling you because you could have thought about d5 and then said e5, and d5, as a matter of fact, was so much stronger in that position. So that's where my
Well, I like this e5 move because it solidifies the white bishop on d6, offers protection to the bishop. It prevents the black pawn from ever moving forward in the center. And now look at black's bishop on g7.
Oh yeah.
Dina.
No, I love it. This is an
We've
outpost.
killed.
I agree.
Yeah, we killed the bishop.
I agree. The only worry is what happens after knight jumps. Did she
Well, then I
calculate
go
that?
knight c7 check.
Well, it's not the right way, my friend. You're losing after this. Your queen is Botezed after
Oh
this.
no.
Yes. Oh yes. You were saying goodbye to the lady. You were joining.
Oh
the
no, you
Botez
even
club.
got the trade on d3. I thought, oh gosh.
Yeah. Exactly. It's you became one of us. You became a Botez. That's okay, Hammer. That's understandable. You shouldn't
Okay,
blame
but
yourself.
in that case, then Andrea's move was terrible then.
Well, yeah, she gotta know what she's doing here, and I can tell you she's not gonna find it. I can bet my whole
Queen c7?
no. I can bet anything. I can bet the whole 20,000 giveaway by Coinbase that Andrea is never gonna find the move here. So chat, participate in the giveaway before it's too late, because I'm betting the whole tournament sponsor here.
Queen takes c8?
Did I say 25? I meant 20,000. Nope. Still not. Oh, wait, actually, should I bet 20,000 in crypto on what? Hammer's not gonna find it either.
But I'm gonna find it.
You're not. No, you're not.
It's not that difficult. It can't be.
Of course you're not. See? You still haven't found it.
I mean, I it's probably one of the answers I already gave, but you're not listening to what I'm saying, so you didn't pick up on it.
I like
That's
that
what
you
I'm
roast
betting.
me, and I think it's a legit roast. I respect that. Will you? But I'm sure you did not. But you know, you can repeat yourself, and we'll see. Maybe you already mentioned it. It wasn't Queen c7. It wasn't Knight c7. It wasn't Queen c8.
Knight takes e5.
It is Knight takes e5.
See, I'm not that bad at chess.
Yeah, but you didn't say it before, did you?
Well, no, I did not.
You see, I was listening. For the rare time I was listening, and he made a move. What did he do, chat? I don't think
He
he
played
took...
knight e4 instead.
Oh, thank God. Although, is there a difference?
Isn't this tricky as well? Because the problem here is that the queen gets trapped in some variations.
Well,
right?
now Knight c7 works, Hammer, because our queen is not attacked. So Knight c7 only move, and then Bishop takes c7, and the queen is on c4 is no longer attacked. Remember, chat, after Knight e5, we couldn't do the same thing because it would be a Botez gambit, but not anymore. Oh my God. Andrea's opponent did a tremendous mistake because he just forced Andrea to play literally the only move in the position, which is winning.
Well, she can also go queen c7.
I think you mean like there's always a chance she blunders her queen in one?
Yes.
No, come on, Hammer, don't be so toxic.
No, not there. Not there. But instead of knight c7, queen c7. But it's probably very, very bad.
Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend. You have been the one. You have been the one for me.
That queen is double trapped. Like, trapping it once wasn't enough for black, so he trapped it again, realizing that you couldn't take the queen to begin with, because then Andrea would get a fork on the king and queen. So you double trap the queen, but Andrea doesn't fall for it.
All right. She's not gonna fall for it. She's not like any of us. Did she play knight c7 already? She did, right?
Yeah.
She played the knight and she forked the queen. Okay, she might think, what am I doing after this? This is a tough one.
So Dina, every time you say after this, I need to wait for the delay.
Well, it's a rhetorical question, so you don't have to answer.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
don't worry.
But tomorrow, let's work on
I think Hammer, your thought process is so peaceful and calm that this couple of seconds, I don't think they affect anything. You know, your speech is so calming. That's this. I mean, extra seconds.
Sure. Knight takes e8.
Okay, rook takes.
I take the queen, you take my queen, and I take your bishop.
Ah, you got that one, you little
easy
sneaky little boy. Okay.
Oh no, you have knight takes c2 though.
Yeah. Well, the engine gives another move. I'm not gonna say
okay,
it.
let me take the knight on b4 first, and then I do this.
Exactly that. Exactly that. And then after a takes, we are... Oh my god. We don't have to take... Oh my god. Have you ever seen a position where taking the queen is not the strongest? I mean, okay, here it's like... I'm being dramatic for no reason because the queen is already pinned. The best here would be a5.
Yeah, but bishop g2 looks good. a5. Wow.
We got Grandmaster Ben Feingold in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Show your respect to the famous Grandmaster. As if we didn't have one already. All right, Hammer.
So, Dario did take on c7.
Okay.
And then Andrea took back with her bishop.
There we go. We're gonna see a win soon. I'm telling you.
So right now, I do think Andrea's bishop is going to be in trouble. I don't really see how she's getting the queen away from this. Oh, Dina.
What?
Bishop d5 on Andrea's board.
Queen b5.
Bishop c6. Queen is trapped.
Oh god. Okay. Well.
And if you try to retreat the queen, so if you go back and then try and go back to c3.
Boom.
Oh, darn it. Then the check is very scary.
He's done it. Okay. Well,
he did something similar. He did similar, but not the same.
What did he do?
He went bishop to a6.
Oh. Well, here we got queen b3.
Well, maybe first we give check? No.
Yeah, of course. But do you know what's the solution here, or do you want me to help you?
Well, I mean, I assume we go bishop g2 at some point.
Yeah, it's the only one. It's beautiful. Although even knight to b4 works. Can you imagine? And bishop to g2. And then...
Are you kidding me? And then king d2? Oh my god, this is incredible.
King a7 and a takes. And then if this one... Yes! King d2, king checkmate! D2? With the rook! Checkmate with the rook!
That is quite sick.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful, isn't it, chat?
Okay, that's very nice.
All right, what do we have here?
So bishop a6 was played instead. Andrea is down to just minutes on her clock. The clocks we have on screen, unfortunately, has a 5-minute delay. So that's not the current situation. Oh, bishop takes b6 is checkmate, Dina. No, sorry, I'm hallucinating. Sorry.
You are.
Yeah,
You
no,
forgot the
I thought
knight. It's okay.
queen c5 is checkmate.
It's okay, and I'll remind you that knight can also take the bishop. But then it is a checkmate. Actually, I remind myself. But yeah, you're right. There is this little thing over there is killing the vibe. Oop.
Yeah, okay. So Andrea did give the check with the bishop.
Of course, she would never let the check slip away. And now queen b3, I assume.
The king has moved up.
Okay.
And I mean, if she doesn't play queen b3 now, it's over, right?
Yeah.
So any other move than queen to b3 and Andrea loses this. And the thing is, Dina, after queen b3, knight takes d3, Andrea needs to realize that she needs to recapture with a rook. Because after queen to b3, knight takes knight. If then pawn takes...
wait. Once again, so we had bishop a6, queen b3. You took something on d3.
Yeah.
With the bishop.
With the knight.
With the knight and pawn
same
takes.
Kind of principle.
And then rook c8.
Yeah, pawn takes is a big mistake.
Yeah.
Because the rook can then attack the bishop, and the bishop cannot move because of the king being in trouble behind. So Andrea needs to realize that she recaptures with the rook. Yeah, oh no, she blundered. She blundered. She took on b6, Dina. She did the hammer checkmate.
Oh god. Oh, imagine she. Oh boy. Oh boy, imagine.
So Andrea didn't realize that she could just take back with the rook on d3. She thought that she was going to lose her bishop no matter what. And so she felt like, well, if I'm going to lose the bishop no matter what, I'm going to try to eliminate some of the pawns defending my opponent's king.
Right. Yeah.
So this would have been bad, and she realized that. But she didn't realize that she could just recapture with a rook, allowing her rook to be captured by the black knight. But as long as you're going back and forth a lot, Dina.
Yeah. Don't worry, I got you. And yeah, so here Andrea should have done the simple calculation. Sometimes we tend to forget that the rook is not as strong than the knight, but we gotta calculate. So here, black won an exchange, right? Only an exchange. What is exchange? They gave away a bishop and gained a rook, but they were already pieced down. So here, a position is technically equal, but Andrea has 2 extra pawns and
1 extra pawn.
Oh, I didn't realize f7. Yeah, f7 didn't look to me as a pawn. Sorry, apologies on that. So only 1 pawn, but the king is completely exposed. I don't want to say bad words here, but this would be completely winning. But she thought maybe it wasn't enough, and that's why she decided.
I don't think it's about that at all, Dina. I think it's just that you don't think about what position ensues. You don't think about what's about to happen. You think about, oh, I don't want to give away my rook for a bishop. And then you kind of get stuck in that frame of mind.
Yeah.
Like, you never recapture with a rook when you know that rook is about to be captured, and you don't think about the fact that you were already up a rook for a bishop, so it doesn't matter if you give a rook back again.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying, because it all comes down to calculation. We sometimes forget to calculate the number of points, in the end.
Yeah.
This
and it's about what's at the end. It's never about what is it during, because during you can give away a rook for a bishop as long as you end up with an extra pawn at the end.
Yeah, that's true. You know, I've learned this also pretty late, but whenever there's this kind of hidden rule, and chat, do not apply it for your games. I think it's more for experts and title players. But whenever you're up material, you should always look for a way how to give it back and transpose your advantage into something that is way easier to convert. Like that situation, it would be easier to convert just a pawn up and attack with the bishop on d6. She's still winning, chat. You're right.
She's doing okay, but that's also part because the black bishop is out of play and his king is weak and stuff. But we're a little bit more nervous now than we were previously.
True.
So queen to b3 has been played. The queen is pointing in towards the black king. Didario, he captures the white knight before it can do any damage.
After rook d3, Andrea is winning again. Hammer. Well, she's gonna play rook d3 because the knight is pinned.
Yeah.
This is a mistake. This is a huge mistake. Instead, he should have tried to activate his bishop, and c3 apparently wouldn't have been as bad because rook okay, this is complicated. We pin the pawn, and if the king goes away, then... Oh my god! Sorry. I'm being a drama queen for nothing. The queen gets trapped over bishop c8 and then queen a3 and goodbye my lover, goodbye my friend. But no chance he would have ever found it, and he did not, and he played bishop to d3. He even, Dario didn't even try to find it because he doesn't even take his time to think, to pause and think.
Yeah. Well, right now we're thankful for that on Andrea's behalf.
Yep.
And right now, I guess he needs to go king a7, right? He needs to get his king away from the pressure from white's queen. But then rook to c3 looks kind of good.
Yes, you do want to get that out of your way. And this position is so much more winning than what we actually thought Andrea would get.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's super easy.
Yeah, it's only +6.5, but I know. I'm being a snob. I actually...
Oh, my mistake, Dina. He hadn't taken the knight on d3, but he just did. So I was wrong, and then I was right.
Okay, so we were speculating a little bit. But we still expect this to happen.
No, I just misunderstood. I saw something being on the d3 square, and I assumed it was the rook.
It's okay. Don't worry.
In fact, it was a knight, but now the position is the same as it is on the board.
Yeah, to give you a bit of context, chat. So basically, the games are on a slight delay for anti-cheating measures, which is like 5-ish minutes. And that's why every time we recreate the move from the camera that we see, this is where the delay comes. For tomorrow, we'll try to see...
Oh my god. Dina, Alexandra has sacrificed a knight.
What?
We need to go there.
We have to go there. When? Where?
We have the current position in Andrea's game. Her opponent did go king to a7 like we were predicting. So we're keeping an eye on Andrea's game. But now Alexandra just sacrificed a knight. So we're going to have to move in there as well. Oh, no, she didn't sacrifice a knight. She won a rook. Oh, my bad. She didn't sacrifice. I forgot to count the number of rooks. I only counted the number of knights. And I didn't realize that Alexandra had won a rook as a result of the complications that arose. Pawn to f5 was played. Alexandra's opponent is trying to open up for his bishop on the g2 square. So he's trying to sacrifice a pawn, trying to provoke Alexandra into accepting the pawn sacrifice. because then if the pawn sacrifice is accepted, that would allow white to open up for the bishop on the diagonal, creating lots of counterplay in towards the black position. So Alexandra smartly avoids that whole thing, and she just retreats her bishop, making sure that the white pawn remains on the e4 square, so that the pawn is still blocking the white bishop's diagonal. After bishop to f7, there was a trade of pawns, and then after the pawn trade, Alexandra's opponent played queen to f2.
Ooh.
After queen to f2, Alexandra ignores the attack on the f6 pawn and goes knight to c3. So her idea is that after knight to c3, she's attacking the rook on a2, so the queen cannot capture just yet. Alexandra's opponent captures the knight to avoid the rook being captured, but after the recapture, Alexandra opens up for her queen to attack the white knight on b3. And once again, she's making it difficult for her opponent to have time to start capturing in towards the black king. So her opponent feels like, oh, I got to move my queen back into defense to give protection to the knight under attack. But then Alexandra decides the game in her favor with knight to b4, creating a fork on the queen and on the rook.
Damn, girl. And after a takes b4, we got rook to a2. And looks like Alexandra is gonna win this game even faster than Andrea. And you know.
Yeah, right now it's a competition who can win faster, right?
Oh, yeah.
Andrea is helped by the fact that her opponent is playing so quickly. But Alexandra is playing very, very good moves and has been throughout the game, which is putting her in the lead as far as who wins first. But we have some moves in Andrea's game as well, Dina.
Oh, yeah.
And right now, Andrea is in trouble, I think.
What?
Because there are pieces coming to attack Andrea's king.
What?
After king to a7, Andrea played king to b1.
Wait, whoa. Okay, I see. Yeah, obviously leaving the piece. Rook b8?
Rook b8 was played. And after rook to b8... the knight is threatening to capture the white rook. Andrea moves the rook away, but she doesn't move it in a way that makes threats against the black king. She could have played rook to c3, threatening to use her rook as an attacking piece in towards the black king. But instead, she has okay, yeah, that might be why she didn't do that, Dina.
Yeah, because
so she chose not to blunder
C7.
her rook.
Yeah.
Like I did.
Exactly.
And instead, she moved her rook all over to the king side, rook to g3. But then now, after knight to b6.
Ooh. Wow.
After knight to b6, Andrea's opponent is making big threats in towards the queen side, where Andrea's king is residing.
Well, technically, Andrea is still winning, but I understand that like the heart rate is actually.
Now she played rook c3 here, Dina.
That's the best move.
Get to I.
Oh boy. Now her rook can get to c7.
Or c5. Like her opponent is struggling to defend both of those.
Right. That's amazing. That it is time to give away the exchange because the knight is too strong and she's already up on exchange, so she can afford herself to do that.
Oh, she's not going to give it away. She's going to go rook c5.
Oh, right. Because two knights don't jump at the same time. Right. My bad. Apologies on that. Wow. Wow. All is fine, Hammer. Honestly, we're fine.
Yeah, and Alexandra is completely winning. Just update her moves just quickly. After
Yeah.
B takes C5, Alexandra decided to just cash in. So B takes C5. She played Rook takes C2. C takes B6. Rook takes C1. Knight takes C1. And Rook to A.
That's beautiful. And position is completely winning basically. After b7, you always have this rook to b1, and the queen cannot promote because the rook is stopping there. And yeah, like I think we're gonna see the resignation. I think it's gonna be our first point.
Yeah, they're signing the score sheets right now. Congratulations to Alexandra winning the first round and doing it in style, I think. A very clean win with the black pieces against an opponent that is 200 points lower rated. But I just want to remind everyone that you get more rating from beating a guy 200 points lower rated than you get for drawing against a player 200 points higher rated. So if Alexandra can get on a really mean girl streak this week, then she can gain a lot of rating stomping these 1700s.
And you know what that means, chat? You know what that means? It means that we got an extra $1,500 in giveaway today, thanks to our sponsor Coinbase. And it is time for me to remind you that Coinbase is the most trusted and most secure cryptocurrency exchange on the market, used by over 140 million people globally. As supporters of the chess community, Coinbase is giving away over $20,000 in crypto throughout the whole tournament here at Sardinia World Chess Festival. You just need to enter your email that you use that is affiliated with your Coinbase account. And we gonna not only give every day a winner $1,000 in crypto, but also $1,500, just because Alessandra has just won her game, and so might Andrea. The question is, would the money get tripled? Even for those who are not selected, if you sign up using the link in chat or using promo code Botez20, you'll receive $20 in Bitcoin after your first transaction. Be sure to send Raffle. And on that note, we have already Andrea only out there for us. Ooh. And by saying that, I take my words back because Andrea's scam. Oh no, there she goes. Up. She's here. She's the one. Who would have thought? Alexandra, congratulations. GG's. Hammer, your thoughts?
Yeah, good game by Alexandra. It's looking like it's going to be a good game by Andrea as well, because her opponent just made a massive blunder. I have no idea what he was thinking. So he went after rook to c3. He played queen to d8, Dina.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let me update that. Oh, that's amazing.
And after queen to d8, Andrea goes rook c5, threatening rook takes a5 with possible checkmate coming up. In order to defend against that threat, her opponent captured the pawn on a4. I guess he forgot that he was no longer keeping the queen on the e8 square to help protect against the a4 pawn.
Oh no.
But after knight takes a4, Andrea just recaptured.
Oh no.
Like, the queen is not protecting the knight. The queen can just capture on a4. And even though Andrea has been down to just a couple of seconds on some of these previous moves, she's fine now. She's got everything under control. She's up a rook for a knight. She has a massive attack on the black king. It's over. She's going to win. And both sisters are going to win like 10 minutes, one after another, and to get a glorious start to this tournament.
Man, it is a cash day for the Botez family today. Everybody make sure to get ready for the giveaway by using the commands, because once the game finishes, before the interview, we're gonna have the last 10 minutes countdown for the participation. So make sure you got your accounts, your emails ready, because it is time to cash in.
And is that a 0 on Andrea's clock? It is a 0. But she has, according to my sources, 56 seconds. So less than a minute remaining for Andrea, but she's only one move away from getting an additional 30 minutes. So she's gonna be fine. She's gonna win this game, and what a big success to start off this event.
Amazing performance by both sisters, but let's not draw the conclusions too early, not to jinx it. Hammer might be not a superstitious player, but I am, so we're gonna see how Andrea cleans this one up.
Are your sources reliable? My sources are always reliable, Bait.
Yeah, Hammer has the access.
I went to journalism school. I know how to.
Oh,
To
really?
find
Did
the
you?
intel. I did, yeah.
Oh, that's why you are so calm and peaceful with your speech.
I don't know if that's why, but I didn't finish, but
Oh, lol.
that's a story for another day.
Okay, never mind. Never mind, chat.
Hammer, the Grandmaster of Jinxing. This position is unjinxable. I guarantee it.
Yeah, sometimes there is a winning and there is winning, and there is that type of winning where you there is no way you can throw it. Yeah, we know this from experience. Up. What did he do?
I'm only watching on the stream. He played knight d5.
Knight to d5. Okay.
And now Andrea can pick and choose. I guess the cleanest is to just play bishop takes d5 and then queen takes a5. Or she can go for the checkmate. Rook takes. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Rook takes a5 is just, this is checkmate coming up.
Oh god. Oh god. Is this time, Hammer? Is this time for us to see another result?
It is.
Oh god. I'm not ready for this. I wasn't ready for this. Chat, I haven't signed up for this. Why are sisters winning? I mean, am I to complain? I guess not.
Okay, rip non-subs. 200,000 points spent by Champ 1977 to make it sub-only for 5 minutes. Plebs in the dirt, but Champ's also 200,000 channel points poorer, but does get a shout-out for his 3-year anniversary as a sub to the channel.
I'm slightly confused. Chat, you know Hammer better than I do. Is Hammer going for a streamer mode and reading out loud gifts and sub means that the position is completely won?
I mean, it's checkmate in 2 moves, Dina.
Okay. Never mind. Never mind. So that when you know, how can you know for sure that girls are winning? Is it if Hammer turns the streamer wipe on?
Well, I mean, I can if you. I want to. Oh, damn! My sweater is slightly dirty, but get your Botez merch. It's very
No.
comfy.
Before it's too late, and participate and use the command. Participate in the giveaway because it's gonna be late soon. I'm telling you. After this game, we're gonna do a countdown of 10 minutes. Unless, yeah, Late is gonna be ready to join the interview, but I think we're gonna do the countdown first.
You want to put the moves on the board, Dina?
I'd love to put the moves on the board. It's my passion and joy to put the moves on the board. All right, Hammer, which moves should I put on the board?
Knight d5, rook takes a5, king b7, rook a7.
Man, oh god, it's a checkmate in one. Oh god, god damn it. Okay, no swearing. It's a sponsored stream. Coinbase is listening.
We can pre-move a checkmate from here, Dina.
Okay. Pre-move a checkmate.
Queen a6, queen takes b7. Checkmate in 2 moves.
Sharks. Boom, boom, boom. He's thinking about where to resign. Right? Are we right or are we right, chat? It's been an interesting day. It's been a beautiful
we're
day.
We're gonna have a checkmate on the board. He moves his king up, and Andrea, queen a6, checkmate! And she doesn't find the checkmate in 1 move.
What?
For God's sakes, Andrea. Oh my God. That is just pissing me off.
What did she do, Hammer? Tell me.
She didn't go queen a6 checkmate.
What?
Instead, she decided to go for a queen trade, I think. I'm not sure what she's doing.
What's going
After
on?
king b6, she played queen a5.
Queen a6 was a mate in 1? With queen a5
no, queen a5, queen c5. No, she's still getting the checkmate. Okay, no, it's fine. She has checkmate in 1 move again.
Hammer, I wouldn't be so...
And this time she finds it.
She
and the
does
handshake.
it.
She's not doing the handshake? Really? At some point, you gotta claim the checkmate. This is the most awkward checkmate execution I've ever seen.
I don't think Andrea had ever chance to do
Andrea,
that.
do you realize it's checkmate? Do you want to kind of let your opponent kind of put your hand forward and shake his hand? She's waiting for him to give up any hope, but he's looking at her and he's like, I've never seen this before. Someone giving a checkmate and then not offering their hand to their opponent. And that is the lousiest handshake I've ever seen also. That was a weird finish, but Andrea gets the win. And deservedly so. She put a lot of pressure on her opponent. He was very passive out of the opening. And she exploited her space advantage to start a winning attack.
Oh boy. I don't think Andrea had often a momentum where she would be delivering a checkmate, a real checkmate on the board in classical chess. So I don't think she knows what's the ethics there.
Yeah.
But I also,
that's
that
a very
being
good
said,
point, Dina.
Yeah, well, when I think about it, when I deliver a checkmate, I always look at my opponent as well. I expect them to kind of realize it and resign. It's a cool feeling. You want them to give you the hand.
If you want your opponent to realize the position is the checkmate, you do not shake hands before the opponent realizes. Well, I mean, the game is technically over the time at the moment you give checkmate. So you can easily kind of like offer your hand as a way of letting your opponent know it's checkmate, dude.
Right.
But a great start to the tournament. Is Andrea wearing nothing but a shirt?
Oh
From that angle,
no,
it looked like
Hammer!
she
What
was
would you?
missing pants.
Why would you think so? How could you, Hammer? Hammer, don't! It's the style. This is how girls in LA dress. What you talking
Oh,
about,
okay.
Hammer?
I didn't know. I didn't know. Hammer doesn't know about shorts. Literally Norwegian. We don't do a lot of shorts in Norway. We need the good clothing for the harsh weather.
All right, chat. So, what does it mean? We're gonna see the sisters for the interview. Two winners, our beautiful winners. Man, I'm impressed with the games.
Pause says, Hammer, you're the only one with no pants on. You don't know. That's the beauty of it. You don't know. You're probably right, but you don't know.
We're gonna get the girls very shortly, and you guys don't go anywhere because today we're giving not 1,000 but $2,500 in giveaways because we got the wins for the house. Hammer, are you proud?
Am
of
I
yours?
supposed to say something?
Well, you can always
proud.
say you're. How proud are you?
No, I'm very proud. I think Alexandra played a good game. I think she's going to be feeling good. Andrea also played a good game. A complicated one in Andrea's. It was more risk. We managed to find some variations where Andrea could be in some trouble, but objectively, she was always much better. And her opponent didn't manage to find the most testing variations.
Right. Yeah, that was nice. I'm gonna go ahead and see what scene we're gonna have for the girls once they arrive, but you please feel free to take care of the chat for now, dear co-host Mr.
Okay,
Hammer.
I will keep chat entertained while you figure out the technical stuff. The problem is we did have that guy make the sub only for 5 minutes, which is kind of inconvenient for messing around with.
Hello, Hammer.
Hey.
You're here. Bring back your camera. I want to see you. I want to see your beautiful face. Great. Now, there you go. There you go. Now we got you. We're back. Up. He's here. He is here. And who else is there? Who else is there, chat?
I just want to say that chat gives me such a hard time when I have minor tech issues. And I think I'm not trying to like give you a hard time, Dina, but I do think chat needs to be more appreciative of that tech issues on day one does happen, and you gotta give me more slack when it happens to me, chat.
That's a beautiful note to welcome Alexandra in the call.
Hi, do you guys have space for video?
We will.
No, I've been here. I think the stream is dying.
Yeah, it's my internet, unfortunately. But I think now we're back. So yeah, do you want to go through your game?
I don't know if we have to go through the game. I think we could talk generally, but I'm more worried that the internet is not connecting, so I don't know whether to even turn on internet video. Do you think video will work, or should we just do audio? And then that's okay too.
Yeah, well, yeah, up to you. I don't think it's yeah.
Because I think your voice is disconnecting, so it's hard for me to even understand.
Hammer, you hear me?
I'm hearing you
Hello?
just fine.
Yeah. Let's give it one more shot, and you can put perhaps your yeah. Okay, I think it's back now.
Okay, well, I'm gonna. Okay, sure. I'll try to turn on video and we'll see if it works. Hello, chat. Oh no, we lost Hammer.
It's okay. I'm bringing him back.
Oh. Okay. Today was rough. The blow dryer broke in the room within 5 seconds, and then I tried to use Andrea's, and then it broke within 5 seconds. I think kind of everything sort of breaks here, and then I couldn't get help because there were like 20 people in the line for the lobby, and the only phone in the room is not plugged. But I've learned that that's just Europe. So yeah, we get used to it.
It's crazy that you say it because I also got the same experience, but vice versa, once I moved to US. And I discovered that things can work.
I have had this issue happen in an American hotel, but also, I mean, this hotel is way more beautiful than American hotels. Like this view. Oh, actually, I can't show chat.
Now it's good. Now they can see it.
You let me know when the camera's on.
It works now.
Oh, okay, great. Well, yeah. So at least it's a lot more beautiful here. Thank you, guys. So, what did we think about the game? I saw someone in chat say your life difficult, but I would like to start with the compliments.
I mean, there's not that much to say, though. You just played a pretty flawless game, no?
I'll take it, if that's what it felt like.
Yeah, I mean, we were focusing a bit more on Andrea's game because she was attacking and you were kind of just outplaying. But you know me, I like
play like a cobra.
Yeah.
Nobody enjoys squeezing my opponents to death.
I enjoyed it, but more privately than on stream.
Okay. That's okay. I'll take it. Yeah, no, more like a Python. Whose game? Are you playing through Andrea's game right now?
No, it's chess.com. They finally realized what happened. Sorry about that.
Hello?
Yeah.
I am very confused. Why are we not looking through my game? Andrea's not even here.
No, it's chess.com. I'm changing that. It's the game is just updated now itself automatically. It's give me one sec.
Well, in the meantime,
Here.
You guys haven't done the raffle yet, right?
No. We're gonna do it right after. Yeah.
Well, I think there's around like 50 people who actually signed up. So 50 of you, that's pretty good chances. So good luck.
And you girls won today, so we have more even. We have 2,500 because you won.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, good luck to everybody who wins. You cannot participate in the raffle unless you already have an account, so you can't win without it. That's all you need to do to enter the raffles.
All right, we have your game on
Dina,
the board.
I think you're... Okay, cool.
Yeah, if you want to go through it, Hammer, are there some key moments?
Say something?
Can you not hear Dina speaking right now?
No.
I'm here.
All I heard is, Hammer, can you give some key moments?
Yeah, that's all I said.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Okay.
So, yeah, guys, feel free to go through the game.
Yeah. Really only question, Alexandra, is A6 5?
A6 followed by A5? Oh, like why I didn't go A5 and... Wait, what? Can you put it on the board?
Yeah, I'm bringing it. Yeah, you played A5 after playing A6. Yeah, after Bishop D2.
I don't think I played A5.
Lol.
Are you sure this is what happened?
I mean, it's what is said on the internet. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The reason I thought that with A3 he had made a hook, so I thought that if he pushes A4, I get my knight to B4, and if not, then I can play A4 and then do what I did. So I thought that made sense.
Yeah. But did you then regret playing A6 previously?
Well, isn't the reason that I played A6 what got him to play A3?
Yeah, but by playing... So, I mean, you still kind of wasted the tempo, right? Because after A3, he could have gone B3. So he could have gotten B4 in the long term without allowing A4, and that means you did kind of waste a tempo because you could have played A5 immediately if this was how you were planning to play it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I will note that down. I didn't even realize I did it. But you know what I did think I did well? I tried to take my time more in the opening, and I thought that I used my time well in this game.
Yeah, no, this whole plan with D4 was very nice. And yeah, A4 was nice. I kind of disliked knight B6, but I started liking it after a while. And it was very justified once he went B3 and your knight got up to A4. Then knight B6 turned out to be brilliant. I think it was overall just a good game.
Do you want me, Hammer, do you want me to show this on the board?
I mean, yes.
Which, say again, where was it?
Now it's kind of too late.
Alex, did you get it?
Yeah, I think it's okay. We could just discuss it a little bit. Yeah, I got it. I think it would be good if we can figure out our tech issues for tomorrow. It's no worries. I know the first day is always rough. Okay, any other general comments, Hammer?
No, I think it was a good game. I don't really know what else to say. You managed your time well. You played good moves. No, it was just a good game.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, I think Andrea's probably going to call also, but for everybody in chat, don't worry. We're going to figure out the tech issues. It's day 1. We have another 9 days of this tournament.
7 days.
I had chaos even just getting here. 7 days? Oh. Is it not 10 rounds? Oh, because we have double rounds,
It's
right?
9 rounds and 1 double round.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Well, we have a lot more days coming ahead, chat. And on my way here yesterday, I had to take a connecting flight and I lost my passport on the first flight. So then I missed my second flight. And then I had to track down my passport, which I have a tracker on, but it was really hard because the Barcelona airport is a little bit of a shit show. And then because I didn't make my flight, they took off the luggage and they didn't know where they put it. And I also had a tracker on that, but it took like 3 hours just to get my bags back. And then I finally got a flight, which I almost would have missed because the person helping me with booking didn't even realize there was a flight that night. But somehow we found it last minute. And then I somehow made it here yesterday at 2 a.m. in time for round one. So at least we're here, but it was a little bit stressful.
Alex, how did you lose your passport?
I was trying to put it in my backpack pocket to not lose it. And I think when I was putting it in my backpack pocket, it must have slipped on the side. So pretty unfortunate.
Damn. This is crazy how track devices can help you save these things.
No, air. Oh, hello, Andrea. Okay, I think it's Andrea. I will pass her on to you guys so she can talk about her.
Sure.
Because I'm gonna go into the grocery store. Do you want to come with me?
You're going to the grocery store?
Before it closes.
Where is the grocery store?
I have a taxi coming. Hi, chat. I'm gonna join.
Where you have a taxi coming?
Yes. So do you want to come with me?
Yes.
Okay, let's go and I'll.
Can you call off your phone?
Yes. Okay. Well, yeah.
Or you can.
Sense for me to hold. Okay. Hi, chat.
Congratulations,
Hello, everybody.
Andrea.
I'm not okay. The funniest thing happened that I have to share with the class. I was trying so hard.
Is it me
to
this?
hold in my laughter. Okay, the Wi-Fi seems so. When he blundered the knights, he goes like, okay, hold on, I'm gonna set the camera down so I can reenact what happened. He's like this, and then he like makes this. Oh god, these boys just watched me do that. That was really weird. And then he makes this noise. He goes, shloop, and then he literally like jumped. And then I started laughing. I was trying so hard to contain my laughter, and I had to like hold my mouth in my shirt because it was his reaction was so funny. He was just cracking me up. And then the checkmate, the poor guy, it took him like 10 minutes to realize it was checkmate.
But
and I don't know
Andrea,
if we can just go around beating all these grandpas.
Andrea, why don't you say to him, checkmate?
Because I didn't want to be rude. I didn't want to assume that he wasn't gonna see it. I'd be offended if someone said checkmate to me and I'm 1600, but he clearly needed it, so.
But like, don't you think it's
Hello?
kind of weird also not to even kind of acknowledge the fact that the
No.
game is over?
I think it's worse. Like when I play with a kid and they say checkmate and I already know, I'm so annoyed. But maybe that's what I should have done. I didn't realize. Where is my sister? I guess that's what I should have done. I just don't like it when people say checkmate to me because I assume that I'm gonna know. But yeah.
No, but I mean, you don't
that's what I
need to
should have
say
done.
checkmate. You can just look at him and stretch out your arm or something.
I was searching, but I want to give him. Yeah, okay. I guess. Well, the only reason I didn't do it is because I was trying not to be rude. But I guess it's the other way around. I thought it's rude if like you don't give them time to look at the position themselves, because then you're just awkwardly sitting there with your hand out while he decides.
But you were also awkwardly sitting there trying to make him realize that it was checkmate, which also, makes him look bad. So in a way, that's rude too.
Andrea,
Okay,
don't listen
chat,
to
have
him.
a
I
poll.
never
What
say checkmate. I always look at them like at idiots and wait until they shake my hand. They give me their hand.
But okay, good. Yes, but anyways, I'm curious what you guys have to say about the game. I'm not extremely proud. Also, like my brain. Also, where's my sister? Hold on, Alex. Taxi is leaving. Flip up. I'm waiting for you. He's been here. I'm waiting for you. Okay, What are you? Jesus. I'm not sure. Oh God, those boys keep seeing us. Ow! Okay, I'm not sure if I move attacks because, to be honest, I wasn't sure proud of my play.
Well, I think it was fine. You missed a checkmate in one move, which is gonna be clipped and showcased everywhere. But other than that, I think it
Wait,
was
for
a
me?
good game.
Wait,
Yeah.
I made the check that I could have made it him.
Yes.
What? But after I was winning, right? After he blundered the knight.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay, okay. When was it?
On the second to last move. So you did a checkmate in 2 instead of a checkmate in 1.
Oh. Okay, yeah, okay. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Any other notes for the game? Wait, we're missing our
Andrea,
third friend. Can you give me?
I think you played a good
over
game.
there? Okay.
Yeah. I think you played a
listening.
good game. For me, one confusing moment was the knight h3 in the opening and then all the knight moves that you did. I think it would be more natural just to push
Yeah, exactly.
h4.
That's more natural to push h4. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I found the taxi. Yes. I thought I was trying to come up with a plan. No, I agree. That didn't make any sense. Hello. Okay, sorry, we're getting.
But it turned out to be well. And you know, in those moments when you get center, like strong center like you did,
Yes.
and your opponent doesn't react to it, you gotta ask yourself what's next? What's the goal in our life? And if you got beautiful pawns and then the opponent doesn't oppose to it, then you just move them forward like you like, grab even more space. So basically anytime d5 or sometimes e5 would be good moves, like d5 most likely. You did it eventually, but you could obviously have done it so much earlier.
Okay. 1 second, let me give the. Can you go to the closest grocery store? Coop. Groceries? Food. Grocery. The closest supermarket. But this isn't the best one. Can someone look? This one? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. It's 10 minutes away, right?
Hammer, is that me or you?
Very traumatizing. So now I have to go source some food and hunt for my food. Canada. Okay, when it says 8 online. Okay, all right. Okay, this is the most chaotic. Well, okay. All right, chat. I'm gonna leave you guys before we disconnect. I'm sorry it's been so scuffed.
But they still have the Coinbase raffle, so at least someone will win money. He said they close at 7:30.
Okay, can I do one thing at once, please?
We should check.
Okay, can you wrap stream and I'll check.
Yes.
Okay, you wrap up stream.
Here, that's your. You asked him because I can't. I was
yes,
like,
I have the phone. It's
guys, I'm arguing with Andrea. The internet is gonna disconnect. The taxi driver said it's gonna be closed when we get there. Andrea says no. So we're on our way with another typical Botez sister adventure. I can't tell if any you guys can hear me because Andrea has chat. So
we can.
I don't even know if
I need to do the direct. No one else.
Okay. All right. Well, then, guys, this is too stressful. Andrea and I are gonna try to grow.
All right. That
chaos.
sounds good.
We are on our way to get some food, and tomorrow we will be back. Sorry for the rush stream. We had to make it to the grocery store before it closed. Priorities, because we're in the middle of Italy. And the only thing that they have every day at the buffet, it's in war zone out there, and it's me and all the kids on soccer camp, and they always have their greedy little fingers all over the chicken nuggets and the French fries, and the kids are everywhere. And I'm done fighting for my food, so I'm gonna go and scout my own.
There's also no coffee.
And there's
Unless
also
you
no
want to wait for
coffee
20
here.
minutes.
So we need to go scavenge some resources.
Yeah. It'll be okay. We'll figure it out. Chat, thank you guys so much for tuning in day one. Dina and Hammer, thank you guys as well. I think a lot of we'll I know it was a little bit of a rough start, but day one always is, so we'll figure out stuff for the future.
Thank you guys and congratulations on amazing games, amazing wins. That's the way to go. I do hope that you feel better now from everything that was in Spain is left behind, but this beautiful double wins for the family.
Thank you, Dina. We appreciate it.
And Chad, we will be wrapping up with the giveaway. So we will let Dina and Hammer
And Dina,
but stay till the end if you guys want.
I think the graphic was supposed to be all over the screen instead of in the corner, but it's okay. We'll get there tomorrow.
Wait, I got
excited
it.
For this graphic.
Yeah, here it is. All right, guys, the last 10 minutes of giveaways are about to begin with sisters leaving us on this note. All right, ladies, are you getting out this call or should I kick you out?
Okay.
Yeah,
or do you want to show
Joking. Just kidding.
Nope.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Bye, guys.
Okay. Bye, chat. See you
Good
all
luck to
tomorrow.
everyone in the Raffle. See you guys tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. All right, everybody, Hammer, we are about to wrap up this beautiful show. Let me remind everybody that the timer has started. As the timer started. Whoa. Wait, Hammer, why did you disconnect? Where did he go? Wait, where did he go? Come back. Hammer, come back. Wait, he just left? Come back. No? Come back.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah, no, sorry, I didn't realize, yeah, sorry.
It's okay, bring your cam. Let's go. Everybody is ready. Everybody has refreshed. And we... All right. What do you think, Hammer? Do you think girls are convinced with their victories?
Yeah, no, I think both of them had good games. Alexandra kind of wanted some feedback, but I had none to give her.
Well, yeah, rather than A5, right?
Yeah, because I feel like she was very much in control.
Okay, well, I'm clicking the button start. And here is your 10 minutes countdown, the last 10 minutes to participate in the Raffle. You gotta use the command Raffle now or never. A5. Dude, for me, the most hilarious moment of the interview was when Alex said she did not play A5.
Yeah, no, and it seemed to me like she didn't realize she had played A6 and then A5.
Yeah, she probably forgot. She probably thought that she just played A7 to A5, right?
I don't know. That's what it kind of sounded like to me.
No, I agree. I absolutely agree. That's probably what it was. But yeah, I was also a little surprised Italy doesn't have coffee, but that's another story. We have this beautiful animation chat, and this is your last 10 minutes to participate, actually already 9 minutes to participate in the giveaway, now or never. I shall remind you one last time, what are we playing for today and here? You guys all know Coinbase. It has been the sponsor of various shows we have had. And today, in this tournament in particular, throughout the next 7 days, and the next 8 rounds, we gonna give away $20,000 in cryptocurrency. All you need to do is type the command Raffle, type the command Coinbase, participate, use your affiliate email that you're already signing up with in Coinbase. And even if you don't get lucky today, you still get, no matter what, a $20 discount if you use promo code Botez20. You will receive $20 for your first transaction after you sign up. So, man, I wish I could participate. I don't know about you, Hammer.
Yeah, no.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll participate for you.
The hosts cannot participate. I think that's a fair goal.
Right. Okay, chat. What else can we say about the games? Andrea's game. Yeah, she understood it. I was surprised. She didn't even object it. Did you see that?
Yeah, no, she kind of said that she wasn't entirely happy with her play, but as far as I'm concerned, she had a pretty good game. Like there were some complications at the end, but I think overall she had a good day as well. And I think, well, one of the things we would have asked her if she was not busy trying to, rush to the closest grocery store, is that she handled, I think, the time pressure quite well. It's not easy to play an opponent who uses less than 2 minutes on every single move. It's very easy to kind of, well, get into time scrambles, make mistakes, be nervous about your time usage. But I feel like she coped with it quite well. And even though she was very low on time, she never went beyond being too low on time. So I think it was a good day all around.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. 6 minutes are left in the giveaway, and I need to stress out that only people who have a Coinbase account can win prizes. So make sure you create an account. Make sure you use the code Botez20. Make sure you use the email with your affiliated email that you use there to participate in the giveaway. And today we are throwing $2,500 in the prizes. Beautiful games by both Alex and Andrea. You know what, Hammer? I think it even makes more sense now. That imagine Alex, in her mind, she didn't play a6. She didn't want to play b5. She forgot about that, and then she just imagined it didn't exist. Then it even brought more harmony into the way how she handled that queen side.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the a5 a4 just worked out brilliantly in the end. So yeah, no, I feel kind of boring just repeating the same thing over and over, but
you feel boring? Well, how would you then tell me how would you avoid the preparation for the next game? Like imagine her opponent, Alex's opponent's gonna for the day after tomorrow, next time she plays same color, imagine her opponent watches this game and wanna improve. How should white improve? I think you were not happy with that early was it night? I think you were not happy with at some point white could play take on d5.
Yeah,
Knight d7.
very early on, very early on, I felt like e5 would have been a good move for white. But after he didn't take that opportunity, I thought Alexandra handled it very well. And the very next move she played was specifically designed to prevent her opponent from pushing that pawn forward in the center. And she never looked back. And from that moment, she had everything under control. So I just think it was a very good game from Alexandra. Obviously, one thing I will say, it's easier to look good when you're playing against a weaker opponent. If you look at some of the most instructive games at top level that's ever been played, you never really see, super instructive between number 1 versus number 2 in the world, because number 2 in the world will not allow themselves to be defeated with kind of instructional value. It's always going to be some kind of exception to the general rules. Whereas if you have a very strong player playing against a strong or half strong player, then you will often see these things that become very the rules of thumb and like the games we praise the most are gonna be these games where there's quite a clear skill level difference between the players, because that's where you get to see what is the difference between a 1900 and a 1700. And I think that's what Alexandra displayed today. She showed the quality and the difference in class between her and her opponent.
Wow, damn, the difference in class. Oh my goodness. Did you hear that, chat? Did you hear what he said? The difference in class. Alexander Botez dominated her opponent with a classy chess understanding. Positional, strategical, time management, psychology. Everything she learned from her coach, Grandmaster Jan Ludwig. However, Hammer.
Yoon, not Jan. Yoon.
Yoon Ludwig. However, Hammer. Right. Alright, chat. We are under 2 minutes for the end of the giveaway. Are you excited? Are you excited just as I am? 1 minute 20. Who is gonna be the winner? It is time for chat to cash in, just like the sisters cashed in today in their games.
Now who's the wordsmith?
Wordsmith. Who is the wordsmith? All right.
Well, you know, with my hammer, I smith them well.
Someone said in chat, is commentating with Dina like coaching Andrea in chess? I like that message.
Dina is coaching Andrea in the life.
You see how he turned the directions, didn't answer those questions. We gotta know the name in 30 seconds. 27, 36, 25, 24, 23, 22, 29, 20.
Avoided the question. I didn't realize I was being asked a question. You can try again.
10 seconds before we know the winners. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. And here we go. The winner is Jeffrey UD2934 with $1,000. On the second place, we got Always Reforming with $500. Martin Smihov 500 and Showcase another fun 500. These are our winners. For beautiful people who got overall $2,500 in crypto on their accounts. Coinbase, everybody. We wrap up the show on this one. Huge congratulations. We're gonna be back tomorrow stronger than ever, with a better internet, with a better connection, with no drops, with a classroom where Hammer is gonna make the analysis himself and not gonna have to wait for me, and with Andrea being ready with all her groceries.
Well, we don't know about that last one, Dina, because apparently the taxi driver had no confidence that the store was still gonna be open until 8, but a lot of what you said we'll try to fix for tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, one last reminder. Usernames. You are winners. You are gonna be contacted via the emails that you have submitted. And we'll just simply check if you have the Coinbase accounts and make sure you get your money. All right. Thank you, Hammer. Thank you, chat. Thank you, Coinbase. We are signing off. Let's see who we are rating. And we're gonna be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. 9 a.m. We gonna be here Eastern, 3 p.m. Central European. Beautiful island of Sardinia. Have you ever been in Sardinia?
No, but it looks kind of nice. The Mediterranean islands in general are all very nice.
Nice. I kind of miss the sea view, you know, when we had in our, like, literally playing outside in
It looked
Formentera.
kind of spectacular, yeah.
Right. Well, the sea actually didn't help us, so maybe it's a good thing that we get to change. All right, guys, we are raiding. The raid is gonna go through. We're going to Alexandra Chaz, who is actually, I saw, commentating the event together with Grandmaster Miro, Evgeny Miroshnichenko. So we are gonna join the official coverage of the event. Make sure you stick to that stream as well. And as far as for now, thank you so much, and see you tomorrow.